this shit. You're getting rhythmic poem bull crap, and there is no backtrack because I cannot find one that fits with the natural rhythm that I came up with for the music.
Okay. I think I'm good. I
Oh my god. Wicca, wicca, ah!
think... What the fuck are y'all doing?
Idiots.
Hey, listen up! Alleria is the host.
Yeah.
Last session, we didn't do anything but stay in Phandalin, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Either that or we
Yeah, we
got
didn't
back
do
to
anything.
Phandalin and then got...
You got back
No,
to
we
Phandalin.
killed. Yeah, we got back to Fennel. We killed a couple of bugbears on the way.
Ah, right. Murdered him
That's
in
right.
cold
And that was
blood.
about it.
Yeah, we all
Kinda
like
hung out.
got to witness the hot date between Rogar and Alleria.
Oh, right.
Hot
I remember that. Ugh.
That wasn't a
So
date.
cringy.
I think I'm good.
Who lied to you?
Who lied to me? What? Wait, y'all can't hear me? Is that what you're saying? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
No.
Yeah, I don't know what you're
You said
saying. I'm
you were-
sorry.
You said you were good, so I wanted to know who lied to you. Ah, I killed myself.
Same,
If
to
only.
be honest.
Alright. So. Is everybody ready?
I am.
Yep.
I gotta
Yes.
go, guys.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little sick. I'm sorry.
Well. Tough shit. Alright.
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Right? I knew you weren't
all
gonna
of
fucking
you.
play. Of all people, Ho-Ho's gonna be there. He's gonna be standing there while Alleria performs with starry eyes.
Yeah, with hard eyes.
Mhm.
What?
Kind
Mouth
We're just
agape.
starting out with it, eh? Not good set up or anything?
The what?
Well, there's a recap within my shit, to be honest. Minus what we did in Phandalin, which was
I mean-
basically just fuck around in Phandalin.
Yeah, we didn't do
We didn't
much.
do anything. We came back, drank, partied, and then that's where we stopped because I told you that if we stopped here, because it was pretty late, that I would just include the recap in my shit.
Ah, okay. Just curious.
So, I believe before the show starts, there's an opening act.
There is?
That's
Oh.
what I heard.
I heard that there was two.
Is it a reprise of A Beer is Good?
Brax is still in the middle of telling Zethrin that he just really needs to be along on his way. And last I remember, Zethrin really wasn't having that much either. He was kind of he had something to say.
Oh, yeah.
And what was that? You think you have a right to say something then? You're not even a member of this party. You want to know what I'll do? Do you really? Do you want to push it that far?
Oh,
Brax
judging
saying
from
this,
everybody's
hops off
view.
of his table. He listens to nothing that Zephyr has to say, and he walks over towards the staging area. He pulls out his bow and his arrow, and he says, "You want to know what I'll do? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do this." He shoots a pot to his right. "I'll do that." He shoots a pot to his left and tries to ricochet it back to the other pan.
Hold on.
Do I need to roll?
That's two rolls. Yeah.
Shoots two pots. What
Crit
the
fail.
hell?
Crit fail.
Start the night off right.
Are we really? Or shooting pots? What? Are they like next to Zethrin or something? Or what? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I don't
Swear
know
to
what
God, if
pots
he
they
hits
shoot.
Allie, she's gonna
Also-
be so pissed at him.
Also, Brax, I don't know if it's just me, but your mic is like muffled.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay.
He's got a new headset.
Gotta dial that baby in.
Ooh, I saw
guess
that.
we can try
One
to
more.
turn him up.
Jeez.
Those are both excellent, man. Tell us what they do.
As he shoots both the arrows, they bounce to and fro. missing Zeph just barely as they blaze out the door. Roach looks around and he says, without further ado, I give you Alleria, who has a song for you.
Oh, good lord.
You hear Rogar going.
Well, she'll kind of look at Zephyr and then be like, I'll understand if you don't want to help me, but I'd appreciate your help.
Zeth just kind of looks at Alleria and then looks at Brax and then, let's see, where is Brax sitting at that table, like where his token is or something? Or near that table?
I don't know.
No, Brax jumped up on the stage. I just wasn't sure what that was up here.
Oh, he's on the stage next to Zeth? What the hell?
We're assuming this little area in front of the steps is the stage.
Yeah. So
That's
Zeth
what
steps
I'm
up,
saying.
and all of a sudden you hear
That's
Percocet.
the bathroom
By the
door.
Percocet.
Oh, so Brax is
Percocet.
next to Zeth, pretty much, when he shot those. Okay. Alrighty, well. Talk about point blank range.
Right?
Anywho, Zeth is going to, he's going to actually look at Hrogar. And then grins. Giving
Rogar is just
a
watching
nice
Alleria
little
right
wink. Well, he's going to get, like, he's going to snap his fingers at Hrogar. Be like,
now. I mean,
Get his
I'm
attention.
across the room.
so, get his attention. I mean, shit, it is quiet. Everybody's eyes on Alleria. Not like,
Okay,
you know,
Rogar
super
glares
loud.
at you.
And, yeah, well, Hrogar can wait a sec before, staring at Alleria again. Because he's gonna... Zeth is gonna give Hrogar a wink, and then he's gonna pick up Brax and try to chuck Brax at Hrogar. That way he can catch him.
Oh my god!
That's a
Alright.
long distance.
You're gonna throw him like
They're
60
both
feet.
stronger than shit, so...
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55
That's
feet.
almost 60 feet. Like
Okay,
shot
he'll get a
putting
running-
a halfling.
Okay, he'll get a running start and stop around right there. How much is that? That is...
This
Oh my
this is
God.
not gonna help
40
inter-party
feet.
relations.
Can I stab him in his hand when he reaches for me?
Sure. You can use
How
your reaction.
about Alleria just intercedes and kind of like steps between the two of them and just starts belting before
Okay.
they can even throw each other. How about
Let's hear it.
that?
Let's hear it.
Fine, Seth will start playing his damn tunes after she
Okay.
start playing his lute.
It's been some time since I've spun a tale of all the things we've done, but never fear, the jetting goons are still your number one. We've traveled near and traveled far. Wherever we've traveled, our good deeds have not been sparse. Around the bend to Wiventor we went, to slay the orcs and hobgoblins we met. An ogre even tried to test our might, but good old Devith slayed him on sight. It was there we met our good pal Roach, and now he's part of our crew. I'm sure you'll hear him boast. He may be little, but he has some wicked aim. If he and Gil have you in their sights, you won't be long for this day. Let's not forget the Banshee of Coneyberry, charmed by my silver tongue. Her info was useful to the shrine of the lucky ones. We came back for a rest in our favorite little town. Rogar needs a stew, or else he'll frown. But not long we were able to stay before our journey carried us another way. We met a man named Alexander who offered us a hand. He told us where the Red Brand had taken their stand. Up to Cragmaw Castle we marched, but the battle was not so evenly matched. As the drove of goblins came at us, we covered the ground with their guts. The goblins weren't the end of our woes that night when an owlbear came into our sights. Rogar held the line as he struck with all his divine might, but it was Roach who obliterated him this night. Our battle was not won as we tore through the castle, for our little companion turned into an asshole. Turned out Alexander was nothing but a doppelganger, and well, that just filled us with anger. Maniacal laughter I forced upon him as Amalay's wolves tore him limb from limb. We rushed ahead, eager to clear out this trash, hoping to find some secret treasure cache. Instead, we found something much more grand. dear old Gundren was found at our final stand. Sorry. Back to home, sweet Phandalin, our journey took us. Thankfully, the travel was met with no fuss. You welcomed us in once more to your beautiful home, but yet again our journey left us to roam. A trip via sea to our fair Neverwinter. Our boat was attacked, the wood did splinter. But with some care and inventive shooting, we managed to get to shore before the boat did its sinking. But it was not the beautiful Neverwinter that was our goal. The ruins of Thundertree were where we were sent to patrol. It was here that we sadly parted with one of our friends. Dear Devith was overwhelmed with poison and met his timely end. We vowed vengeance on the dragon who struck him down, with help from Rydoth, the druid of this forsaken town. But his help was not free, so to the dragon cultists we went. We slayed them with vigor to prove our intent. One of us marched alone while the others planned, thinking they alone could have the upper hand. Instead they were taken, prepared to be the dragon's feast, but our newest friend Zethrin refused to be given to this beast. He burst through the door, our ally in tow, saving them both from what was sure to be a nasty blow. One by one the remaining cultists fell, until all that remained was the beast from hell. We pulled him from the tower and attacked with all our power, until a rat he was transformed, making him sour. Druid Rydoth promised he'd meet his timely end, while we went and mourned the loss of our friend. But time came once more to return to your lovely home, hoping for comfort we'd never find while we roam. You didn't let us down, our dearest Phandalin. Even with our loss, you made our welcome feel like a win. And now we all grace your presence once more, but what knows what we have waiting in store.
Nice.
Here,
That
here.
was a lot, guys.
You know what? I'm so inspired by that. You're gonna get double inspiration,
Oh, no way.
and one of them is transferable to use whenever you want.
As if she's
So
gonna
when
share.
someone crit fails later, I should probably send it to them. Got it.
You can give it if you like, but it's something you can hold on to and use at will whenever. Or
What does
doesn't
the audience? How does the audience react?
Oh, they. I thought you heard it.
You know,
I was
the
assuming that was the audience.
Yeah.
right?
Well, that sounded fucking tepid.
Well, there's only like what, 8 people in
6
here.
of us.
Yeah. The crowd, for as small as they are, they go wild and they're pumping fists in the air, and you hear some of them, saying "Here, here, huzzah!" In the back, you hear a couple of them. The jetting goons ride forever. I mean, it's just, they're for the small crowd that they are, man. They really enjoyed the performance, and Toblin's back there, just with a giant smile on his face, and he's got ale set out for the entire house. He bought the house around, and everybody's cheering that on too, and cheering Alleria, and cheering Roach's display of marksmanship, and everybody's really enjoying themselves. You know what? You rolled really good too, Roach, and you did your shots really well. You can go ahead and have inspiration too. Yours isn't like hers. Yours is just a regular inspiration for the night, but
So the one carries over for whenever?
no, you get one that's specifically for tonight, but you have one that for however long you want to hold on to it.
Oh, sweet.
And like you said, if you want to give it away, you can give it away.
I
It's up to
mean,
you.
I'm probably not.
Just saying, right?
Yeah, she's
Gotta
not the
stay
sharing
true to
type.
my nature.
Well, upstairs, Gil sits up from his drunken stupor, like rubbing his eyes and his forehead.
And strangely, his hands smell like oysters.
Ugh.
Ew.
Gross.
and he doesn't know what happened, but he feels like there was like a big loud noise and the building was shaking temporarily, and he feels a bit of like strange, unexplainable inspiration, bardic kind of inspiration feeling, but doesn't know where it's coming from, and then he kind of shrugs it off and goes back to sleep.
It's
Doesn't
probably
have any idea
It's
what he
probably
missed.
coming from the bush on his face.
That was horrible. All right. So, we are going to assume that this is very late in the eve, as many people have already left, and Toblin did the round. Everybody drank up, and they're kind of one by one heading out the door because it's pretty late. Y'all got in at like 10, so this is got to be like 2 in the morning, and for these times and days, that's late as fuck. So everybody's kind of getting home to their kids and wives and whatever. And they're all kind of leaving. Anything anybody wants to do or say, or?
Rogar goes up to Alleria and like wipes a tear from his eye and just says, "That was beautiful."
Oh, thank you. And she's gonna lean down and kiss his forehead.
he like swoons.
Wow.
Alleria, catch me, I might faint.
She just kind of chuckles and shakes her head and helps you. To your room, sweetheart.
You're inviting
Wait,
him
what
upstairs?
was that? What?
No.
What? I missed that. What'd you say?
Like that.
What?
She's asking him if he wants to go back to the bar or up to his room.
Ooh.
And there is nothing in her voice hinting at the fact she wants something. It's just kind of like, where do you want me to help you to?
The fact that she wants something. The fact, she said.
Jeez. Yep. I heard that too. I just like to point out that we've had some episodes before where certain people, or all of us, I don't know, have thought that maybe a lot didn't happen in that particular episode or whatever. But hearing Alleria's tale there of the adventures of the Jetting Goons, that sounds like y'all have had some pretty awesome adventures.
I know, right? Like, you would think we were like level 6 or something.
Yeah, like with all the shit that we've been through.
Right? At least level 5.
Oh, wow, you guys are pushing it. You're supposed to complete this campaign at level 5.
Well, then why are we 5? We're supposed to be at 5 when we complete it, right?
No, we get level 5 from completing it, I believe.
Shut up.
Correct.
By which I mean we should already be level 5.
Right. Thank
What?
No, that's okay, Alleria. I can, I suppose I can just make it up there alone, as usual.
Oh, you're making me feel so sad.
And he starts like slowly going up the stairs and like shoots a sidelong glance at Alleria as he walks up.
Yep. Every few steps he takes, he looks back with the dog eyes.
What are the living arrangements right now? Because I know at one point Alleria, because there's not that many rooms in the inn. I know at one point Alleria has actually offered to let Rogar sleep in a room with her, and I know Roach has bedded with her before. Like, what are our sleeping arrangements?
Well, that's completely up to you guys. At the moment, Sildar's found a place to stay here in town, and it's not in the inn anymore. And Gundren's, he's not here at the inn anymore either. So that's 2 rooms that are open. There's a total of 6 rooms here.
Oh, so we can all have our own rooms now?
Sildar's down at a tavern called the Toolbox.
Right? The useless toolbox.
You have to wear black leather BDSM gear to get in. But yeah. So I mean, you'll have your own rooms if you like. That's completely up to you. How many of there's 6 of you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or there's always the warmth factor and the safety factor if a couple of y'all want to check up.
Well, again, that was beautiful, Alleria. I hope you sleep well.
He says from the top of the stairs,
Yeah.
giving you the puppy dog eyes. One
Yeah,
last time.
he hesitates, like hoping, waiting,
Aw,
and then makes his way to the
my
room.
heart.
And you see him like his head droops down, and you just see his shoulders like go up in a little sigh, and then he like turns around and goes to his room.
Aww.
You made his head droop down.
Rex begins to walk upstairs, and as he does, he looks back at Zeth and says, "What, will you be sleeping with one of us tonight too?"
Zeth doesn't even acknowledge
Then he
Roach.
goes.
Just kind
Then he goes to light his pipe, and when he does, he forgets that he had all of this high-octane alcohol all over his face, and he pops himself clean-shaven in one fatal.
Zeth doesn't acknowledge Roach. He just kind of shrugs it off and looks at Allie and is like,
No.
"Yep, it was good playing with you," and then he just kind of walks off.
She's like, don't worry about him. She lets Seth go though. She doesn't try and keep him there.
Alleria, or not Alleria,
Emily?
Emily, sorry. She's drinking drink after drink after drink. She's trying to get drunk, to forget.
Yeah, now she's drunk. Bitch.
Hey, you already accepted her forgive me drink, so you have to forgive her now.
You're lucky her song didn't say, and one of them, Emily, like an idiot.
Hey, quick question. So, like, Emily's never stayed at the tavern, so she's got her own room. She doesn't count. So the other people who need beds and are not new would be Gil, Alleria, and Rogar, and Roach. There's 4. And then, so there's 4 people who've been here for a while and would want a bed. And then there's also Zethrin would be the 5th.
We have enough room for everybody now. There's 6 rooms.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. If there's 6 rooms, then there's plenty of room for everybody.
Yeah, because Gundren and Sildar have found other arrangements now.
Okay, cool. So does that mean, though, that Amelie plans to stay here?
Sure.
Her wolves are outside, right?
Yeah, I before I get too drunk, I'm gonna send them up to my room.
Okay.
Like
well,
I'm on that verge of being drunk where I don't understand. Like I'm not.
You kick open the door and you go, "Mama's getting sauced. Come on." And then you climb on top of
I'm
one,
almost getting sauced.
and you ride it through a crowded bar up the stairs.
So, does it seem that you would be easily taken to the bedroom then?
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa!
Yes.
Roach, get in there.
yeah, she's drunk and in despair. I would imagine she'd just do something to make me feel good.
Well, in that case, Roach isn't going to go completely upstairs. He's going to stop just right at the top and keep an eye on it to make sure that nobody tries any advancements.
Aww.
Well, there's nobody left in the bar. Everybody gone home.
Right, but Zeth's still down there, and so's
Zeth already
Hilda.
locked off. He's in his own room.
Oh, well,
Zeth
Seven
is
Hills.
not interested in her.
Then I
Anyways. He's
guess
got his
Roach-
own lady he's been looking for forever. So.
He's been licking for forever. Okay. Good
They
to
don't
know.
have that sort of a relationship. Thank
Very
you.
tasty.
Huh?
Huh?
We don't have that sort
What?
of a relationship yet.
Roach is
That's
going to
what we're
ask
doing.
Emily if she feels like retiring for the evening, and I don't mean in a special way. I'm aiming to help her get her drunk ass to her room.
Yeah, Alleria will help with that too. And then when she's upstairs, she'll go back to doing what she was doing before she passes out.
Which is what?
She's actually writing a letter to what's his face, Kier.
Okay.
A booty letter.
Mm-mm.
A booty call.
No, it's that you're still alive, right?
She's like,
It's just the entire letter is just Kier. You up?
I miss those Minotaur balls.
Ew.
All right, so everybody's bedded down for the evening. I'm assuming, unless anybody says otherwise.
Yeah, for sure.
So everybody beds down for the evening, and one by one, you all awake to the sound of chirping birds and the smell of fresh baked bread and the pitter patter of raindrops falling on the roof.
Raindrops are falling on my head.
Wait, in the middle of the night, I'm going to drunkenly sneak into Alleria's room.
In the middle of the night,
Oh, good lord.
I'll be walking in my sleep.
I
Okay.
mean, she'll let you come stay in there, but nothing's gonna happen.
You trip over the sleeping body of Brax. I'm just kidding.
Even though he had his own room, he wanted to sleep by her feet because he's become accustomed to it.
Sorry, that was not my place. Go ahead.
I'm not a stranger here. I've done it before.
Okay, so you go into her room and what?
And drunkenly crawl in bed with her. Just crawl in bed, like I'm gonna sleep next to her. Because I'm used
Sally
to somebody
will be
sleeping
nice and,
next to me.
spoon her.
But we're not gonna like spoon and yeah.
Allie would if she wanted to. She'd hold her, but like that's it.
Yeah, like but like not
No
anything
sexy spooning
sexual.
or
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, no
Slow down.
sexual.
This is platonic.
Alright.
Platonic cuddling.
In the morning, Rogar like goes over to Alleria's room and like taps on the door gently and then like opens the door and like looks in and he's like, oh.
And sees Amalie, Alleria, and Brax all in bed together.
Yeah, it's
Somehow
just
Brax
like,
ended up in the bed.
yeah, he's just like, and like closes the door and then hurries downstairs.
No.
He felt like he wasn't invited to the.
To the sexy party.
Yeah.
All right, you make it downstairs. You're the first to make it downstairs, and Toblin greets you with a hearty "Hello, good morning, my good sir."
Toblin, my friend.
I've got some special break bread for you this morning.
Please, I need it.
He unwraps this still almost steaming loaf of bread, and as you look at it, it has bits of meat and cheese and herb in it.
I'm
And
basically slobbering on myself right now.
he breaks you off a chunk of it and sets it in front of you with a little dollop of butter next to it, and says, "My good wife made that butter. I hope you enjoy."
Rogar eats this slowly and delicately, savoring every morsel.
He says, "Would you imagine the rest of the goons would be coming along any time now?"
Oh,
Gil-
I hope they take their time. I want more of this bread.
Gil stumbles downstairs and comes and sits right next to Rogar.
You need to try this.
He says,
There was nothing
Yeah.
down there.
Before you even made it to the bar, Gil, Toblin sees you coming and pulls you off a hefty chunk of the loaf and serves you up the same way that he served Rogar, and asks, "Would you gentlemen require anything to drink this morning?"
Oh, just water for me. Perhaps maybe. Do you have any hot teas?
"I'm sure I can scourge something up, but we do have fresh milk."
Perhaps I'll take some milk in my tea, if you have some.
Okay, so he goes off to the kitchen.
Gil says, I'll take the same as Rogar. Whatever
hears
he's
you.
having, I'm having.
He hears you as he's going off to the kitchen.
Rogar claps Gil on the back. Not like hard, but like just a good pat. And how was your night last night? You left pretty early.
To be honest, I don't remember a whole lot of it. I was happy to wake up with my eyes still intact.
I seem to remember you leaving with someone.
Did we go fishing?
I honestly don't recall that. I've done that. That sounds. I wouldn't put it past me, but I don't have any memory of that, and I didn't wake up next to anybody.
Well, it sounds at least like you had an interesting night, if nothing else.
Gil kind of gets closer to Rogar a little bit and says, "So as the follower of Hammer doing."
Mart Hammer doing.
Yeah. How do you bless your breakfast before you eat it?
Well, you see, it's more of an internal thing, but basically you just ask Mart Hammer to watch over you as you eat, and watch over the cooks to make sure that they are guided in his ways, that they may cook as best as they can.
Okay, I have several questions. Do I have to say it out loud?
No. He can hear you. If you talk to him.
He can hear me across space, is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if I ask him to, what if the cooks have already cooked it? Is there any use in asking him to make sure they did a good job?
Perhaps
Give
not,
him some
but
sign.
you can always give thanks that they did a good job.
So he can hear across space, but not across time, is what you're saying.
I don't think so.
All right.
I threw it.
He seems to be kind of taking like mental notes, sort of like he's trying to memorize all this. And you see him get quiet and kind of lips moving, like he's mumbling to himself.
Rogar smiles broadly.
Nice. Is anybody else coming out?
Alleria will finally start to make her way downstairs.
Yeah, I put my stuff in the chat.
So, while Alleria is making her way to the bar, what is it that Zethrin ran off to do?
Oh, he's looking around for supplies. He doesn't know the town quite as well as the others, so he's just looking around for supplies. He's probably going to take his leave here soon enough.
Okay. And about the time that you make it down toward the bar, Toblin comes out and puts some tea with a little bit of milk on the bar for Ho-Ho, and notices that you're out and about and says, "Good morning, my fair lady. Will you be joining us for any fresh baked bread this morning?"
Well, of course.
Go ahead and eat up. You're going to need your strength for tonight when you do your big performance. I have to say, Alleria, I'm looking forward to it more than I've looked forward to anything for a while now. I was thinking about it all last night. I kept waking up and thought.
Gil.
Was that? What?
She already did her performance.
I'm really sorry.
Wait. No, the big one. I'm talking about the one she's been preparing for. It tells the whole story of the Jets and everything we've accomplished.
Yeah.
Right about this time, Brax comes downstairs and hears Gil. He says, "Oh, right, but that Seth guy, he kept pushing us to do it last night while you were passed out."
Oh, yeah.
Kind of glares at him. Like, what is your problem with Zeth? We didn't give you this much hell when you showed up unannounced.
Well,
I
Gil's
wouldn't
just
like-
staring at Alleria, and he says, "You let Zethrin goad you into performing it
Oh,
when I was
Well,
here to see."
Amelie also
Actually-
tried to goad her into it.
Actually, if you want to talk about who actually go to me, it was Miss Amelie.
Ooh.
Sat with her.
I'm gonna come downstairs and I hear this, and
Threw you under the carriage.
Yeah, she did.
I'll be like, no, actually, I said I wanted a drink and I needed help going down the stairs.
And it was a ruse.
That. No, I just wanted her to come down and drink with me.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That didn't have shit to do with the fucking.
You wanted her to drink with you.
Gil,
So that
Yes,
you two
I
could
am a
end
light-
up together, right?
No.
Oh, I saw you. I saw
am a
you.
light
in
drinker.
That's-
What are you talking about?
Hrogar
Talk
like
about all
glances
his
over at
energy.
Alleria and then like back down at his plate, and then just mumbles to himself.
Gil says he kind of looks stunned and surprised by this news, and he kind of leans over to Rogar and he says, "So, Mohammeduin is sometimes he giveth, sometimes he taketh away what you're looking forward to most."
Perhaps this is not the path that I'm supposed to go down.
What does that mean?
You see, Marthamuduin watches the paths that we're supposed to follow. If we stray off of those paths, then his guidance is no longer there. Perhaps I've strayed.
Why would you say that?
Well, he like glances over at Alleria again, and then over to Gil, and just never mind.
Oh. Stop.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Gil says,
Feel guilty.
"Well, I've taken the easy road probably for too long in my life, and
I know the feeling.
I think I just need to get used to the road that heads the right direction and might have a few potholes. You know what I mean?"
I warn you, the path is straight and narrow.
I'll do my best.
Okay, so has anybody not come down yet?
I think we all made it down.
Okay.
Everybody's down already.
Then Toblin recognizes that Amelie's made it to the bar, and apparently so has Roach, and he pulls everybody off a piece of bread and assumes that everybody else is going to want to drink the same thing as Ho-Ho ordered, and
I catch him and say, "Oh, that'll be ale for me, fine man."
righto, good sir, and he sets the pot of boiling water down and reaches under the bar and grabs a tankard and fills it for you. Says, "Get you started early this morning?"
As he's just about to put it away, Gil sticks out his cup and winks at Toblin and says, just a pinch of that."
And he winks back, and instead of just giving you a pinch, he tops off your tankard.
I pull it away before he can put too much in there.
And he spills some on the bar and says, "Oh, clumsy me," and pulls out his rag and wipes up the spilled ale.
None for me, Toblin, thank you. Ooh.
You could act like he didn't pour you any?
Yeah, kind of. He's kind of trying to play it off like, whoa, Toblin, settle down.
Right on. Yeah, he catches that and winks at you. Like, very obviously.
Yeah, I kind of wink back.
Cool.
Yes, I remember my days when I would start off in the morning with a cup of, it was a mixture of half ale and half tea. I used to think it warmed me up, but, not so much anymore.
Well, I hope to become as pious as you.
Oh,
Rogar.
please.
But, this is all new to me, and, I'm gonna take it as quickly as I can, but it's going to be a little bit of growing pains.
Oh no, I don't expect you to switch turn a switch in your mind. You know, it's a difficult process. It took a lot of, well, frankly, it took me almost dying to make me realize that I needed to change.
Well, I hope I'm able to figure it out sooner than that.
I hope so too.
Thank you for your help.
Of course, and he claps him on the back.
Yeah, I clap Rogar on the back too.
Nice. And
That's a lot of back clapping.
Rogar
What was
claps
that?
him on the back again.
so he sees all of you gathered together, and he says, well, I noticed that this particular trip you took last, you'd been gone for some time. A couple things have changed in town. I don't know if you noticed on your way in, considering you arrived so late in the eve.
Ah, yes, we saw some progress on the manor.
Absolutely. There's quite a bit of progress that has been going on there. I'm not sure if you are aware or not, but I do believe I recall one of your party asking about an apothecary, and one has moved into town.
Ooh.
Taken-
Rogar
That
glances at
was
Alleria again.
Devith.
Says he's taken residence in the old tavern, the Sleeping Giant.
Devith was the one that asked for the apothecary.
Oh, I thought it was Alleria.
No, it was Devith.
Oh, never mind.
Hey, Toblin, about that, that guy, you know what, Rogar, you better tell him, Rogar.
Toblin, Devith is no longer with us.
What is this you speak of? What your friend, the dapper one?
Yes, he met his end valiantly in battle with a dragon.
Oh, shit. I thought it, I thought
Alleria starts patting Rogar's back.
Oh, no. Sorry, no, it was Devin.
As
Devin
you say
Toblin.
this, he leans in very close to you, almost dropping his glass, and said, "Did you say dragon?"
No. Well, yes. It's okay. It's been dealt with.
You slayed a dragon.
Well, not so much.
Yes!
S-
Yes! We slayed
Uh,
a dragon. She's kind of gives a little like, shut up and let us have this one.
His eyes get just fucking ginormous in his head as his chest sticks out almost like with pride that the dragon slayers are in his establishment. And you know, he was already super proud of you guys from the very beginning of all the wonderful deeds that you've done for this town, and he didn't think that it could be topped with all of the tales that Alleria told the night before. And now this is just the icing on the cake, and it just seems like he couldn't be more proud of you guys that that you're his knights in shining armor.
Well, Gil kind of elbows Alleria, and he says,
So, I see your song didn't get into specific details of the brave circumstances under which we slayed that dragon.
I gave detail enough. I said we turned him into a rat. I just didn't say who did it.
Well, maybe he was caught up in the music. He seems to think it was a big valiant fight of. Let's just let him think whatever he thinks.
Yeah, go. Be careful.
Yeah, never mind. I'll shut up.
Roach finishes his bread and he drinks all of his tankard of ale, and he hops off the bar. He doesn't say anything to anyone, and he begins to make his way out. He wants to go to the Shrine of Luck before he does anything else today.
Right on.
Not loud.
Well, what do you guys think about continuing our journey today?
Well, we know where old Howell is now. How to get there? Are we ready for that?
We were still planning on at some point talking to Gundren and Sildar, or did we already do that? Sorry, I
Oh,
can't
we
remember.
need to
Gundren,
talk to Gundren and
Yeah.
Sildar and ask them to come with us.
Yeah,
This was
that's right.
this was their mission. They wanted to achieve.
Right. You're right, Gil. We should find them and see if they can come along.
Jeez.
With that, Hrogar gets up and strides towards the door.
Allie
Okay.
will turn to Toblin and be like, "Excuse me, Toblin." That's his name, right?
Yeah. Yes, my good lady.
Where have Sildar and Gundren relocated to?
They are taking up at the town master's hall. There are some lodging there in the back, opposite the jail cells, and from what I understand, they've been hanging their hat there.
All right, thank you so much.
We'll just say
Give him a
yes,
little
they're
wink.
talking to the weirdo guard guy.
I've got
The what?
guards.
I'm
Yeah,
good. Oh.
he's talking to the town master.
I've
He's
got
talking to
guards.
Harbin?
Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
I've got guards.
Okay, so you walk in and you see this very well dressed, very overweight, middle-aged gentleman sitting behind a desk and doing paperwork. And at the moment, he just seems completely unconcerned with you. To your right, you see, as soon as you walked in the door, standing on the inside, there is an armed guard standing there, and from what you can see off to the right, there's a hallway with what you can see is the beginning of a cell area, like to hold criminals to be dealt with, and there's also a guard standing there.
He's just gonna talk to what was his name again?
Harbin.
Yeah,
Harbin Wester.
Yeah, he's gonna get his attention and be like, hey, can you tell me about this town, like where I could find supplies and all that stuff?
And he looks at you and he goes, seriously? Why didn't you just ask the guard? Oh.
They felt like asking him.
That's what you say to him? I felt like asking him?
I
You're in a
felt like
conversation
asking-
with him.
Excuse
This-
me.
Do I look like a man that would be troubled with such trivial details? And then looks back to his paperwork and completely ignored you.
Seth will reach across the table and grab him by his shirt and pull him across the whatever hell his desk.
Okay, roll initiative.
Oh, good lord.
He's not gonna fight.
The guards are.
That's regardless. The guard's going to.
Oh, good lord.
Thanks a lot, man.
Are we here to see this and stop this before it happens?
No,
No.
nobody's there yet.
He left way before us.
Nobody
So
is
the
there yet.
guard,
The what?
the guard and him, huh?
There's actually two guards in there,
Okay.
and you'd probably slay them pretty easily yourself if that's your choice of what to do.
Oh
Because
no, he's
they're-
gonna knock them out, not slay them. Fuck that.
They're not fourth level adventurers. That's pretty high on the.
Oh well, I rolled my initiative. I forgot to click my token, but I don't have a token on here.
Well, then drag one on there.
Yeah. My tiny token compared to everybody else's huge token.
Yeah, we're enormous.
And everybody's already covered up the...
How did you get a 27? Oh, you critted.
Yeah.
You have a +7 to initiative?
Yep. I got a
Holy
feat.
shit.
Oh,
I got a feat that gives me +5. Alert.
Yeah, alert's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So you definitely get to act before anybody.
That's kind of why I took that. That and I can't be surprised attacked.
Okay.
Nice.
I love it.
And they got an 11. Okay. So, as you go to grab him by the shirt, you see these other two guards snap from their attention position and move towards you. Weapons drawn.
Oh, I would take just my hammer and knock their asses out. I'll go to the first one, however far he is, and try to knock him out.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. I'm bringing up a...
If he wants to, they're gonna try to fight him. Shit, he just wants to
Yeah,
knock him out.
well,
and be
you
like,
just-
I'm done
you
with
just-
this.
You just grab their boss by the shirt. They're definitely going to fight you.
I'd let their boss go.
You let their boss go?
Yeah, he can sit back behind his desk or hide or whatever the fuck he's gonna try to do.
Okay. Well, they still approach you, weapons drawn, but stop short of you. Like they're standing right next to you. Like they're ready to grab you, both of them, if you try something like that again.
He died to them both and then looks at the other guy and is like, do we really want to go down this course? I asked you a simple question. You want to be rude as hell?
And he looks at you and he says, "Well, who are you to be coming and asking anything of me?" He says, I'm the town's master. Do you go to your restaurant and ask for a menu from the proprietor?
I ask whoever I see. I saw you first, so I asked you.
And he asks you again, maybe a little more, paying a little more attention this time. What is it that you want? What
I'm
do
just
you
looking
want?
for supplies. I'm new in town. I came with this random group of people that came out to slay a dragon or do some weird shit like that the other night.
And what exact services tempting acquire here? You really have his attention now. Like he's paying attention. Maybe not for the ways you want him to, but he's paying attention.
But, what are you asking? Sorry.
What exact services are you looking for? Like what you're asking about places? What places are you looking for?
Do you
What
have an
exactly are you looking for?
apothecary, armor smith, general supplies, all that.
We have all of those things. The men here can help you with the directions. And then immediately goes back to ignoring you again. And the one that was standing behind you, kind of in the nicest way possible, pulls you by your shirt to the front door and begins to give you directions on the 3 things that you asked for, but nonetheless ushering you out the door while doing so. He's still handling you like a threat, but he's giving you the information you asked for.
Well, I would immediately knock his hand off me and then walk with him to the front door and not let him push me out. I would just be standing by the front door talking to him.
Well, as he's answering your question, he's kind of pushing you out. Not even with his hands. At this point, it's just with his body, like walking toward you, walking you out the door. as he's giving you the answers to the things
I
that
would
you want.
stand my ground and let him rock into me. It'd be like, I'm much bigger. You can try.
Oh, you're a fucking Goliath, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a half Goliath. I'm like 7'3" or some shit.
So as
I
he
mean,
does this, he kind of bumps into you and then looks back at his buddy like, "You gonna fucking help me?" And his buddy's like, "Fuck that noise." He looks at you and sees how big you are, and he's like, "Mm-mm." He just shakes his head at his friend like,
yeah.
you have fun with that." And then his buddy's like, since he's not gonna get back up, he's just like, okay, he quits.
So say, you're trying to bump a half Goliath out the door. He's like, yeah, go ahead.
So anyway, you got the information you wanted.
I'm kind of waiting to see what other people are doing. If they're
Okay.
coming this
You're
way or
way
whatnot.
ahead of us, though. That's why we're not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you left.
Well, I figured they were talking about leaving the tavern or whatnot. I mean,
Well, yeah, but you like left before any of us came down.
no,
Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah,
by the
nobody.
time you guys were talking in
no
tandem,
reason
Beth
to
had
leave
gotten
or go
to the master's place and was talking to all them. So, I mean, they could technically go back to them and be all right, because a little, scuffle could have transpired while they were talking or whatnot.
Krogar, I believe, is the first out the door.
Yeah, Yill's following Rogar, but not leading.
Krogar's gonna walk out into the courtyard, or the town square there, and just like take a deep breath, and just like kind of hesitate there for a moment, because he doesn't know where to go.
Rogar,
Mm.
I think we want to go talk to Gundren, Sildar, possibly Harbin before we take off. They'd be at the Town Master's Hall.
Okay, all right. I'll head that way then.
And as you two are talking, now that the sun's up and in full effect, you can see up on the hill that actually a considerable amount of renovation has been done at the manor. Far more than you had assumed from what you could see when the sun was down on your way in. You could see that there were candles and things lit up there, and it looked like you could see something had been done, but you really couldn't tell what it was. But now you can see that the roof is completely fixed. It looks like there's
they work fast.
It looks like there's a brand new roof on the manor, and it looks like they're now attempting to wall up the holes in the sides that had been made there before. And
Hey,
it wasn't like finished work, you know what I mean? But that it's being walled up.
hey, Rogar, check that out.
Wow,
See that? Look.
I'm impressed.
And just as your eyes gaze away from the manor, you notice that the tavern that some of you had started your journey out together with,
The sleeping giant.
the sleeping giant, that it now has a banner across the front of it where it said sleeping giant. Where it had tavern written is now a banner across it written in red paint that says Apothecary and Curios.
I guess they couldn't compete with the Stonehill Inn.
Well, who could with that stew?
Right? Ugh. I miss it every time we leave Phandalin. Alright, and then Hrogar continues on toward the Town Master's Hall.
Okay.
Are you following with us, Roach? And Alleria?
I know I am. With my wolves.
And Amelie?
No, I was one of the first ones out the door. I went straight to the Shrine of Luck.
You were at the Shrine of Luck. Okay. Well, you see us going by, or maybe you do, or maybe you don't, but are you staying there, or are you going with us to the Town Master's Hall?
If I saw you guys, I'd definitely go with you. I just didn't know if I actually saw you guys head in that direction.
So as you pass the front of this building here, Lynn pops her head out and says, "Good morning, Rogar." And she has like this very delicate lace scarf in her hand, and she almost like blows a kiss into it and throws it at you as you go by, which seems very odd because
Rogar reaches up and makes like a catching motion and like puts it against his cheek.
Make a dexterity check.
No, I'll fail.
And she's real giddy about it. Like she coos and
Rogar winks at her and then blows a little kiss back.
And she gets very like schoolgirl nervous and runs back inside and closes the door.
Rogar,
what you know of this woman, even having a lace scarf of anything like that, is very unlike her character. She's not a really frilly girl to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's you know, she deals in armor and shit for a living, so she's kind of, I wouldn't go so far as to say like a tomboy, but she's definitely not a frilly and lace kind of girl. So to even see her with something like that seemed out of place, and especially her behavior following that was very odd.
After seeing that,
It's
Roach asked him, "Is this more Doomhammer's the path for you, sir?"
I don't know. Perhaps maybe I should explore it. And Rogar like turns and looks behind him to see if Alleria's there.
You
She's
say it
kind of
loud
like
so that
in her
hopefully
own
she
little
overhears
world.
it.
What?
Were you saying it loud, like hoping she'd hear you say that?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
She
she
wasn't
totally-
paying enough attention. She's still waking up. She's not a morning person.
Hmm.
Okay, now is that what you want him to think, or is that what really happened?
No, like she's really not paying attention. She's just kind of going
Okay.
with the flow for the moment.
Rogar is like
Gotcha.
inwardly like, dang it.
Gil says, "Pardon my Neverwinter, but the fuck is
Oh,
that?"
don't mention that place. Oh, too many bad memories.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, what the fuck was that about?
What was what?
Hey, real quick.
Lynn? Oh, she and I were, well, we don't go way back, but we go a little bit back, and I think he like elbows him. I think she has the hots for me.
Do we have any kind of postmaster or anything like that around here?
Yeah, that would be at the Time Master Hall.
Yeah,
Then-
so Allie
then
would have
maybe
ran upstairs.
Rogar, maybe we ought to see about getting some payment to the folks who never went to get holding your chest.
I'm going to Alderley Farm.
Well,
Okay.
well, sure, Roach, but where are we gonna get the payment?
How much does it cost?
Wait,
A lot.
500
500 gold.
500 gold.
It was 500 gold, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I can't help
Oh
that.
no, and I wouldn't want you to spend all your money on my frivolous expenditures.
Well, I didn't say you had to pay it off, but at least if you sent them a little bit of gold, then I'm sure they would just keep you in mind and not get rid of your shit.
Perhaps you're right. Let me see how much I have. Not a
How
lot.
much do you have?
I have 120 gold.
I have
Well, I'll tell you what, if you
almost
send 50,
400.
I'll throw 50 in with you to send. That's 100 gold altogether.
That's
Surely
20%.
they'll,
Okay,
surely they'll hold on to it for you for that.
that's a great idea.
I'll throw in 100 too.
100.
He
So,
like
Brax-
grudgingly accepts her money.
Brax willingly throws that 50 gold in, no problem.
Yeah, Allie would throw in 100 too.
God damn! These girls got your back, boy.
Apparently, yeah.
That's
I'll
300.
I'll raise mine up to 100 then. That way it's an even 100. Because
Gil-
Roach was 50, Gil was 50, and then it was.
Oh, Gil didn't really put in anything yet.
Oh, who was the first person?
So far, that's only
Well,
350.
Gil was curious, but Gil has
Right.
questions
Oh.
first. He doesn't know anything about this. This is the
Right.
first I'm hearing.
I would throw more in, but that already takes me down to 22 gold, mate.
Holy cow.
Rogar,
Yeah.
what's in this chest?
Oh,
What's
well,
he talking
you see, I found this chest, and I fixed it up all nice and good. And it's a really nice chest, but I had the idea that if we could find some sort of a wizard-type person, perhaps they could enchant it, make it magically hold more stuff, you know? That way we wouldn't have to worry about lugging around all our
chest
stuff
of
all the
holding.
time.
Get this, Skill. The mages in Neverwinter, right? They're gonna try and turn it into a chest of holding.
Ah, yeah, that's what you'd call it, yeah.
I gotta say, Rogar, with this chest, Alleria, Leanne, you got quite an eye for really nice chests.
Ah, that I do, my friend. That I do.
I only heard that one. She's like, huh, what?
Gil gets inspiration for that. That was fucking awesome.
Rogar glances over at Alleria, glances, a little bit south of her eyes, and then back at Gil. He's like, yeah.
Oops gives a creepy little grin that no one's used to because no one's used to seeing him clean shaven.
Oh,
Roach, what happened to your face?
I kind of burnt off my hair last night,
Oh,
forgetting about all the booze around my face.
Yeah. Oh, I've done that before.
I can still
Gotta
smell
be
it.
more careful, my friend.
He says, but on another note, Gil has a beard out of nowhere.
Wow.
Hey, I didn't have a chance to wash my face.
Couldn't help it. That's awesome,
Wow.
guys.
Well, I really appreciate you all contributing to it.
How much you need?
You know what, guys? Okay, go ahead and finish what you're saying. How much you want? How much you want from Gil?
Well, I mean, Alleria's giving 100, Amale's giving 100, Roach is giving 50. I was thinking I could give either 50 or 100 myself.
And if you gave 50, how much would be left?
Well, that would be 300, so it would be 200 after that.
I can't really seal the deal for you, Rogar.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Gil is checking his pockets and coming up short.
A couple of moths fly out.
Yeah.
I could technically go higher.
Emily is
do
gonna give
we
him
really
50
need
more.
to? What if we just did half of it now and half of it later?
Yeah.
At this moment,
Well,
at this moment,
that's what
during
I
the
was
middle of that
saying,
cough, in the middle of that cough, you see Leanne reemerge at the front door of her establishment, and she's dressed unlike you've seen her dressed before. She's dressed in a very elegant, almost pantsuit looking thing, which is kind of a how would you say, like amalgamation between what you would normally see very feminine women wear and what you would see like a female fighter wear, somewhere in the middle, but unlike her regular garb that you normally see her in, which is fairly masculine. Like I said, this one's adorned with a little bit of lace here and some little fine like embroidery work done in it, and she saunters down the front steps toward Rogar, and she says, "My sweet Rogar, am I hearing correctly that maybe my good friend might be a little low on funds and in need of..." All you need is to ask, my dear Rogar. I shall help.
You look beautiful this morning.
Her face just turns absolutely red, like she pauses immediately, like she doesn't even know how to respond to that. It's probably one of the only times anybody ever told her she was beautiful. She's been called cute and pretty and shit like that, but that's probably one of the only times since she was a little girl. Maybe her father told her she was beautiful once, and she just like freezes and she's beet red.
Hrogar like takes her to the side and like speaks in a lower voice to her, like, it is a little embarrassing for me to say, but yes, but I don't want, to take money from you.
Well, my dear Rogar, we can always consider it a loan if that makes you feel better.
That would certainly make me feel better. Yes.
Well, exactly how much would you be in need of?
I believe it would be 200 gold, of course.
Oh, and when you said gold, her eyes get a little big, like she was expecting you to say silver or something like that.
He
And,
kicks the dirt a little bit, and it's like,
and you see her eyes trace back and forth like she's thinking in her head, and
you see why I don't feel right taking money from you,
And she pats you on the top of your head in a very affectionate way and says, "What is a bit of coin between good friends, Rogar?" And she walks back off. She doesn't even let you speak anymore. She just walks back off to her building, and a few moments later, she comes out with a very sturdy looking coin purse with a drawstring on it, and sets it in your hand, and the heft of the coin purse. You are aware that she gave you the whole amount.
He like motions for her to like bend down a little bit toward him. How tall is she? I assume like 5'4" ish.
She's about 5'4", 5'5", somewhere around there.
Okay. Yeah. He like motions for her to like lean down a little bit, and he like goes up on his tiptoes and like kisses her on the cheek, and then hugs her.
And she hugs you so tight you almost think that your armor's gonna bend.
Now who's doing the friend zoning?
Perhaps I can make it up to you sometime.
And she looks at you and doesn't quite know what to make of that. She doesn't know if you're talking about paying her back with money or with.
He winks at her.
Oh, so okay. So that definitely sends the message to her that she thinks she's getting some, and she's like grasping hand in hand up against her chest, and she just has this giant ear to ear smile, and she says, "Now, Rogar, be sure to come see me when you come back to town."
Oh, I sure will.
I definitely want to hear of these adventures that you've been having.
Well, I'll be sure to tell you all about them when we come back.
And she waves at you and runs off again. Like she's embarrassed to. She knows she's glowing. She knows she's red. She knows she's acting like a schoolgirl. She gets all this, and she's really embarrassed by it because this is so not her. And she's escaping from the sight of everyone.
He like waves in her like at her back as she leaves.
Right on.
And then he turns around and like freezes when he sees Alleria, and then he just like looks around and looks away and continues walking toward the townmaster's hall.
Right on.
Allie just kind of smiles at him and winks. She's gonna try and promote that because she thinks it's cute. Not realizing, the other shit.
Right.
Poor
okay.
Rogar.
So you guys gonna continue on to the townmaster?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna assume about this time, Emily's reaching the farm with her wolves, and you went alone, just you and the wolves.
Yep.
Okay. As you're there, you approach, and what you see several familiar faces, not necessarily ones that you've entertained the notion of having conversations with, but people you've seen in the street, in the tavern, things like that, and they're out working the farm. And as you're approaching, Kayleen is walking out the front door of her house with a tray full of cups.
Refreshments.
Yeah, refreshments. And Carp is following her with a tray of bread and some berries. And as you're coming up, the Carp sees you and says, "Auntie Amelie!" And he's like, he wants to run up and hug you, but he's also holding this tray of berries and bread, and he's like really excited, but he knows he's got to get this to the workers.
Right. I'm gonna smile and walk up and continue walking towards them.
Okay. And
But it's kind of like a soft, really truly happy, but I just have some joy of seeing them.
And they make it about a quarter of the way into the farm working area, and everybody's kind of closing in on them to get the refreshments. And as he's passing out the last bit of food, he says, "Where is Devith? He promised to bring me a toy."
Oh,
I brought the toy.
no.
Oh no.
I lean down and grab his hands and say, Devith sent the toy with me. He could no longer come to visit you.
"But I've been a good boy. Why won't he come see me?"
It has nothing to do with you, my boy.
"He said if I promised to be good, he would
I know,
be my
Carp.
friend."
I know, Carp, and he will forever be your friend, and he will forever watch over you.
He looks really confused. Really disappointed and really confused.
Listen
I'm
up,
gonna
kid.
tell him, Carp, sometimes being an adventurer comes many dangers, and with those many dangers, sometimes you fail in your mission.
He
You have to go on one
failed?
long trip.
Yes, my boy, he failed. He was fighting a dragon, and he had almost succeeded. Gonna kind of play up the story a little bit.
Yeah, you better.
Well, how are you gonna play it up? Tell me how you play it up.
He had almost defeated the dragon all by himself.
You can't tell him he almost defeated. Just tell him he defeated the dragon with his dying breath.
Okay, yeah, that
Right?
sounds better. He defeated the dragon with his dying breath,
Saving the
And-
whole party.
saving the rest of the group.
And as you say that, it seems like everything's starting to click in his mind, and his bottom lip starts to quiver, and his eyes are welling up, and he starts sniffling, and he goes,
I'm gonna pull him towards me
he goes,
and hold him close.
"Devith is dead! No!" And he drops to his knees and holds out his hands in a very movie-like, "No!"
I've already pulled him to me and held him to my chest as I try not to cry myself.
And he's sobbing, and the whole front of your buttress is just like soaking wet.
I know, my boy. I know. It is hard for me as well.
And Kayleen overheard what was going on and walks over and kind of gives you both a hug at the same time, and says, she says, "My dear sister, I'm very saddened by your loss. Condolences."
Thank you, my dear sister.
She says, "Now, why don't you come in and I'll make you something to eat, and you can tell me all about your adventures."
Sounds delicious.
Okay, so you go inside, and you're she's making some food, and y'all are talking. You know, you're telling her what happened and all that good stuff. And meanwhile, the rest of the party makes their way to the townmaster's hall, and Rogar is at the front, I believe.
That's correct.
And as you enter the hall, well, you try to enter, but there's this fucking big ass dude standing in the doorway. You recognize him.
Oh, it's you.
And,
what are you doing here?
I was getting directions.
Well, you could have just asked.
I was hoping to be gone.
Seems like a strange place to come for directions.
I was wandering around town myself for a little while this morning.
Well,
Seems
we're
like he
here
was
on
doing a little bit
we're
more
here
than
on
that.
business. Why don't you keep wandering around the town for a bit?
Wait a second. So let me get this straight. You were
God!
You were wandering around this tiny, tiny little town this morning, and you still had to come ask for directions.
Well, he was around himself for a little bit. He packed up his things, his room.
Sure. Yeah.
Jesus, everybody's just got to be an asshole.
It's okay. Rogar already thinks you're simple,
Well, you do have to understand that I would imagine the majority of them are somewhat relating the death of their companion to your emergence. So I wouldn't imagine the beginning of your relationship to be that smooth.
Zeth wasn't even there.
No, but
that's
you
true.
being here is a reminder of Devith not being there.
Yeah.
Everybody's pretty bummed out about it. They don't know he was a traitor.
Yeah, we didn't know he was a doppelganger.
Well, apparently everybody does now.
No,
they
we
already
still don't
saw
know.
Rogar just like
We still technically don't know.
The players already knew. The characters don't know.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
Dev
the
is still a
players
below.
knew?
The players knew, but the characters don't. And as
Then
far
how
as
did
they're
the players
concerned,
know? Shit.
the DM told them.
yeah. Rogar
We talked about this. when
Rogar
we
just
were
like
supposed to
brushes
go around one night.
past Zethrin and walks inside. Harbin.
Yeah, it was.
my
You don't
old
remember?
friend.
It was on your body. You had notes and all kinds of shit like that.
What?
We didn't. Oh, we did search him, didn't we?
I'm totally kidding.
Yeah.
They didn't find
No.
anything like that. I told
He
them.
didn't search me. Nobody
Yeah,
did.
we did.
yeah, we
because
did.
Took some of your shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
I took your money.
That's
I,
right.
I slipped it. I slipped your money into my pocket.
We definitely split up your loot.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, wait, see, exactly. Well, you're feeling hated on. Just remember, when Nevis died, Roach didn't get a fucking thing.
Actually, Roach got something from him anyways because he gave the pipe
I was
to
gonna say he got the
Alleria
pipe.
to give to Roach. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I was gonna say he got the pipe. You've used it, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
No, what are you talking about?
Devin
thought you-
got that pipe for Brax and gave it to Alleria to give to him.
Oh, word. Okay, then. Well, then I'll retract my previous statement.
Jeez.
Okay, so as you Harbin overhears Rogar and Zeth having this conversation and peeks from behind his paperwork and sees Rogar and he says, "Rogar, my good man, it's good to see you.
Harbin, how have things been for you?
Things are going great. Did you see my guards?"
I did. They look very well trained, groomed.
I'm happy you finally got the guards you need.
Indeed. No.
That's
Better. The guards you deserved.
and,
Well, I think mine was better. Actually, well, never mind. Go ahead.
he says, "Well, it's thanks to you. Thanks to you all. I would still be here with nothing had it not been for the Jetting goons come to the rescue of Phandalin.
Oh, well.
And this is like the first time you've heard this dude not be a pompous asshole to y'all. And it seems almost everybody that you're running into has some kind of newfound pride for their town that they know, or at least are attributing to your party.
Well, it's because
And-
Fandalin's awesome, you know.
And you can tell that, you know how like when people watch a football game and they have their team and their team wins, you know what I mean? Their team wins, so they're like they win. Well, that's
You're saying
how.
it's
We're the jetting
fair
goons of
weather
Phandalin.
fan.
No, not necessarily fair weathered fans, but just like you get the feeling like if when you did something, they felt like they were a part of it somehow.
Oh, I got you.
Like if they were to hear of Debith's loss, they would probably take that very personal. It wouldn't just be, oh, that guy that died. It would be like one of their team got hurt on the field, kind of thing. Or, you know what I mean?
They would pretend like they'd never heard of him instead of, yeah, I heard he tried to rob my.
Yeah, tried to steal from the religious lady out in
Just trying to look.
town
Yeah.
square.
Sister Gary
In front of her face.
in plain sight. That'll always be a classic, man. Oh shit. Okay, so
Classic Devith.
classic Devin. And so he asks, what can I do for you today?
Ah, well, we're looking for Gundren and Sildar. Have you seen them?
He says, oh yes, Gundren went off to the smithy to get a bit of his armor fixed. Apparently there was something wrong with his boots. He couldn't quite figure it out, and I'm sorry, Sildar. Sildar went off to the smithy to get his boots fixed, and Sildar went off to the costers to get a bit of work done on his blade.
Okay, wait. Sildar went to
To the
get his
smithy.
boot fixed. Gundren went to get his blade fixed, right?
Gundren went to get his blade sharpened. Yeah.
Okay.
What was wrong with Sildar's boots? Tell me.
Well, the darndest thing happened, I tell you. He said something about I better get on my way. I'm running really late, really far behind, and I need to fly on down to the. And before he could finish what he was saying, he was off the ground.
Where's Sildar off to in a hurry?
You're saying Sildar, wearing the magical, unidentified boots I gave him, said the word fly and popped up into the air off the ground.
And he says, the what? He doesn't understand what you mean by magical boots or whatever. He seems really perplexed. He didn't even know
No,
that the boots he was wearing were boots that you gave him.
Gil says,
Gil, I mean, he means.
Gotta go.
I think he means figuratively fly.
it sounded like he was being pretty literal, Hrogar.
He interrupts y'all and says, he was literally off the ground.
Gil says, gotta go, and runs out the door.
Wow, it looked like Gil was literally off the ground too. Gee.
No, see, that was figurative. You gotta get it straight, Hrogar.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Roach
Yeah.
scurries along and runs after Gil.
Well, I guess we better head to the Coster then, while they go and chase down Sildar.
I was gonna say, can we take a break like here now at the moment or so?
It'd be a good spot,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think.
fine for a
Sure.
Yeah, I need like 10 minutes if that.
Okay.
No, it's all good, bro. I was just gonna let them finish this interaction here, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sounds like they're pretty much done anyway. Didn't somebody want to send something off though? Because this is the place to do it at.
Yes.
Yeah, Allie would have sent her letter to whatchamacallit.
Yeah, and Hrogar will gather up all the money and ask Harbin to have it sent to the mage in Neverwinter. Do I know like his specific name or like the name of his place?
Yeah, you should. I think you said his
That we
name.
would have remembered, but we don't in this moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rogar would have written it down if he couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah. He looks at you and he says he looks at all the gold and he says, Rogar, normally I would have to charge for a service such as this, but you guys have been so good to our town here. I can't bring myself to charge you, but
Well,
I will have to.
How much would it cost?
I will have to send off both of my guards to make sure that a sum as large as this makes its destination.
How much are their wages?
And he seems to think about it, and it says, "Don't be silly. We owe so much to the Jetting Goons.
Please,
no,
Harbin.
no, you're." And he puts his hand in front of you on your chest and is like, "Your coin is not good here, sir."
Oh,
and
I've never been so insulted in my life.
At
And
this point, Beth would freaking throw some coin at him, be like, "That should cover the charges."
Why are you throwing things at us?
Oh,
you're not even happy with the money. You dick! You're throwing gold at us.
Why are you throwing things at us?
not literally throwing. Come on, you know what I mean. Jeez.
Zeth can't fucking win, man.
Look, I hardly know you, and just back up for a second, okay? Please. And he turns back to Harbin and thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
just kind of
it.
turns and walks off and leaves.
Okay. All right. Then we'll take a break there.
Okay.
All right. See y'all in a bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
You really don't know what. You don't really have any feeling about what that's.
Okay.
And he looks at you and he says, "This big feller here is he with y'all?"
Hmm.
Zeth walked outside, but
Yeah. Well, he came into town with us. Past that, I don't know much about him. You see, we rescued him when we were
Rescued him?
in Thunder Tree.
Hey, you're
Rescued
outside.
him?
You're outside. You got no interjections to give there. He can tell his story how he wants.
Oh, God. Rescued him? Yeah, more like he rescued Amelie.
And since then, he's been tagging along with us.
A bit of a brute, ain't he?
That's an understatement.
Well, if he is of your ilk, please keep him in line. We've had such peace here over the last few weeks. I'd really hate to.
Oh no, I would never do anything to upset the Pierce here in Vandalin. I consider this my home at this point.
Well, hopefully your tag along there sees it your.
I think you cut out there.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Am I still here?
Yeah.
Okay. He says, "Well, I hope your tag along there sees it your way."
I hope so as well. Well, Harbin, thank you so much.
Before you go.
Yes.
Before you go. Just to give your party a heads up, the old Glassstaff, he made his destination, and the Lord's Alliance sent along the payment for his capture.
No.
And he pulls out a little, like a oh god, what would you call it? Like a stronghold box?
A strong
But
box?
a small one. A strong box, a little one. Like maybe
like a little cash box type thing.
right, about a foot long, about 8 inches deep, and about 6 inches tall. And he hands the key over to you and slides the box in front of you on the table between you two.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll make sure we get this split up amongst ourselves. Thank you again, Harbin. What has become of old Glassstaff?
From what I hear, he's awaiting.
Well,
Waiting trial.
yeah, I assume that's what he said.
I assume that much, but you cut out.
I hope they find the mercy to spare him. I hope he has the opportunity to repent of his actions, but I can only hope. Well, thank you again, Harbin. You've been too gracious, and I'll definitely stop by to say hello once we finish our next quest, as it were.
Right-yo.
And with that, Hrogar turns and leaves.
Okay, maybe I was cutting out because my battery's going low. I'm plugged in now. Are you hearing me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe I won't cut out again. I forgot to put it on the charger before game.
Tisk.
Oh, I know. So unprepared.
Yep.
All right. So he bids you a farewell, and y'all leave the Townmaster's Hall. And what's going on?
Now, where do you guys think Amelie got off to?
Where does she normally go? They've been there a few times.
Probably the farm or what have you. She's always there when she's in town at least once.
Good
That
idea.
was all Lucy on my part, by the way.
All right.
Well, we do know that she goes down to Alderley Farm at least once every time she's in town.
Well, let's go see if we can. Sorry, I had to sneeze.
Sure. Now, Gil, are you going with them, or are you going up to the smithy?
He bolted out
Yeah,
the door as soon
he's
as he heard
gone.
flying boots.
Yeah.
I'm on my way to the smithy, but we can do their thing first.
Oh, you're gonna be with them when they go to the farm?
No, I'm going to the smithy by myself.
Okay. All right. So, as the crew is headed towards the farm, Gil has arrived. Hello?
No, actually, I left behind him.
You're with Gil?
Correct.
Okay. So, Gil and Braximus head off to the smithy, and the rest of the crew is headed to the farm, I assume?
Yeah.
That's
didn't you
going
say
to the
something about-
apothecary.
Yeah, you're going to the apothecary. Okay. As Gil and Brax arrive at the smithy, you're greeted by a new face, one that you have not seen in town yet, and you're also greeted by a few faces that you have seen before. As you approach, there are a couple girls outside cleaning up that you recognize from Cragmaw Hideout. I'm
Oh.
sorry. Is it the hideout or the castle?
No, it was under the manor.
Yeah, it was under the manor.
That's the hideout then. Cragmaw
Yeah.
Hideout.
Yeah.
Okay. You recognize the two girls, and the youngest of them, which I believe she was about 12.
The untouched one, it looked like, or something.
She runs up to Gil and just plants a big old hug around his legs. And the other girl, who's about 17 or so, sees you, recognizes you as well, and quickly goes inside, and you can hear her saying, "Mother!"
Even though it was Devitt that rescued them.
Well, when his dead ass shows up, they'll be happy to see him. All right.
Well, if Devith shows up, we might not be happy to see him.
They might not be too happy, but hey.
Thank you.
Gil says, "Oh, hello. What was your name again? Sorry."
And she is, she's squeezing with like every bit of strength that you think that she has, like every bit of it. And give me 1 second here, guys.
Roll a Constitution save.
Roll a con save.
It's like an anaconda squeezing you.
Yeah.
Actually, what am I not seeing here right? Okay.
Mm.
She says, well, I'm Nilsa. Don't you remember me?
Gil was the one outside looting all the coffins.
You're right. You're right.
Nilsa, the little one, and your older sister, her name was, don't tell me.
It's Nadia.
Yeah, I said don't tell me. Nadia. Yes. Well, how are y'all doing? I'm so glad to see that you made it.
And about this time, Myrna comes out the door, and she says, "Oh my! It seems forever and a day since I've seen you. How are you?"
We are doing well. More importantly, how are you lot doing? Have you have you been able to get your life back in order after the ordeal with the Red Brand?
She says, "Well, as strange as it may seem, I've met a man that I really don't know where we are. If we're friends, if we're more. My husband used to be the smithy here, but he was brutally murdered when we were taken. And although I feel quite a bit of compassion towards this new man, I just seems a bit soon, and I don't know how to feel about him, but he's doing a great job here." And she hollers in behind her and she says, Nas, I believe you have some customers. And this kind of scrawny older guy walks out with an apron around his waist and a hammer in one hand and a pair of large almost tongs in the other hand. And he says, "Oi, what can I do for you?"
Nas, was it?
Nas, yes.
Well, me and your new lady friend here and her little girls go way back. But you seen Sildar lately? Is he here? I look around. Is he here?
Aye, Sildar's in the back. He's got some crazy kind of shoes on.
Yes, I heard word that he might have come here with some crazy shoes, and I'm a friend of Sildar's, and I gave him those shoes. And
is that right?
Yeah, before we do anything with them, I'd like to take a look one more time and see if I can, give him a little guidance.
All right, well, come on in.
AKA try and steal them.
Guide him straight onto your feet.
Why does everybody think that?
Oh, I don't know. I wonder why.
You guys misunderstand Gil. I'm doing a bad job. Okay.
So you walk in, and Sildar sees you, and he says, "Hey, Gil, these damn shoes you gave me, I don't know what's going on with these things. I say the darndest things, and I end up flipping around and up in the air, and I don't know what this is."
Sildar from...
Where did you get these?
Maybe you should just trade in boots, help a friend out.
He looks at you, and he says, "You brought a friend with you. Who's this little fella?"
Well,
he holds out his arm towards Brax, like offering his arm for
Sildar,
a friendly shake.
This is one of the best members of our group of the Jets. This here is Roach Braximus. You may not have met him yet, but you'll hear of his deeds soon enough. You would have already heard if you were the type to frequent the taverns, I imagine. He's quite a hero.
He would have met him at the castle, no?
Roach extends his hand. Yeah, Roach met him before. Well, okay. He met him, but he wasn't faring well.
He might have seen him. He didn't.
He was pretty fucked up, wasn't he? No,
Huh?
No, that's Gundren.
Yeah, no, he was.
He was there.
Yeah,
he was there. He was there with Alex and all that, just kind of walking around.
Yeah, they know each other.
Oh, that's right.
Anyway, you know Roach. You might not have recognized him because he looks a little different now.
Oh yeah.
It's the facial hair. That's what it is.
Yeah, he burnt it all off last night, the drunken asshole.
He chuckles.
I can still smell it.
Oh, Roach, and he's still holding his arm out, like waiting for you to take his
I
arm.
extend my arm and grab it and shake it heartily.
Okay. and he says, what you doing around these parts?
We just came to check on you, honestly. We heard you might be having a bit of trouble with the shoes, and, well, honestly, go figure, you know, Gil. Sneaking one in on somebody, haha, gave you his trick shoes or whatever they are.
Oh, Roach,
Is that-
shut your mouth.
Was
Oh,
that
no,
you?
no, no.
Are you playing a
No.
trick on me?
No, Roach likes to get my goat. No, we got some business to attend to, but first I want to take care of this shoe business. I gave you these boots before I really knew too much about boots, to be honest. And I've had a little bit of experience now, and I'd like to take a look at them, if you don't mind, and see if I can help you out with the troubles you're having with them.
He says, look all you like, mate. If you could,
All right.
if you could help me to get out of them, that would be great, because I ain't quite figured out how to get out of them yet. They won't let me untie them for some reason.
What?
Okay. Well, based on what Harbin told us and what I see now looking at him, could I make some kind of roll or something to see?
Yeah, make a Arcana roll.
Oh god, that's gonna
Arcana
go bad.
or History, whichever one would be better for you.
Well, neither one of those are good for me, but I have proficiency in cobbler's tools now. So can I make like my cobbler tools check with dexterity, basically?
I'll tell you what, you can make either one of those that I already mentioned, but you can add your proficiency bonus to it because of your cobbler's tools and your experience with them. And that's plus what?
Should be +2.
Yeah, but he might have some kind of special proficiency because of the cobbler's tools. I'm not sure.
No, it's just +2.
+2, 17? Alright, we'll say that's good enough. You're looking at them, and you're not sure exactly what they are, but you do notice the way that the leather's been cut and tanned, and from the very unique stitch pattern used to cobble these boots together, that they weren't made by a cobbler. That they were made probably at the hands of a fine leathersmith. And also what you saw before embossed in the leather that you thought was just decorative patterning, it seems that it may be ornate writing on them.
Okay. Can I recognize the writing?
What languages do you and Roach speak?
I speak, and I pull in Roach to take a look, but I only speak Common and Elvish.
Okay. Roach?
Halfling, Common, Elvish. Oh, and Infernal, I guess.
What?
Infernal?
Why the fuck does he speak Infernal?
No, it has to do with his, what do you call it? His favored enemy.
Hmm.
But do I recognize what language it is, at least?
I mean, it's clearly Infernal, right?
You do recognize what language it's in, but you don't speak it. But it's Dwarven.
Oh, what if you can
Okay.
speak that?
Hell yeah!
I immediately think of Rogar, of course, but I kind of want to give I want to give Sildar some confidence with using these boots and make him comfortable with them. So I'm gonna try to pretend like, oh yes, I totally know what this says.
Give me a deception roll. He doesn't think that you know what you're talking about. He kind
I
of
say,
catches
okay,
on.
Look, mate. I'll be honest with you. I can't tell you exactly what they say. I got a friend, you know, Rogar. I got a friend who could tell you, but I don't know languages, but I do know boots, and I do know what they can do. From what I've heard, it sounds like you might have yourself a sweet set of boots to fly in here, and I want to know what can I do? What can I do to help you make use of them? The few times I've seen you fight, you're really good with a blade, and you can swing it around wherever it needs to go. But it seems like if you just had a little bit of increased ability to move around the battlefield, that might be the one thing you're lacking. And I think these boots might be your ticket.
He says, "Well, that's fine and dandy, but honestly, I'd like to just get them off. I've ran into so many things; they've been nothing but a headache. Literally."
I hear you. And I pull out of my cobbler's tools. One of the things I have is like a boot jack. Or like a
shoehorn.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I'm like, say no more. I'll take these off your feet right now. I apologize for giving them to you without knowing their full, power. And like I said, I know a lot more about it now. And if you'd like, I can get to working on a sweet pair of boots for you. It might have the symbol of the, of your order right there on the side of it, emblazoned in leather. But let me take these off your hands, and we'll see if we can get you suited up with a more appropriate pair.
And he looks very willing to do that. Or he puts his foot up on the anvil and is awaiting your help.
Okay, yeah, I take the boots off of them, and I kind of gesture to
you slip the shoehorn in, and as soon as you slip the shoehorn in, immediately the laces seem to animate, and they come untied and whip around, smacking you, not really doing any damage, but basically attempting to ward off your attempt to take the shoe off.
Does he notice this?
Oh yeah, it's in plain sight of everybody there.
I say, oh no. Oh, Sildar, the security features that I built myself into these boots not behaving properly.
What are you saying? You can't get them off?
Can I trick him into believing this?
Sure. Do another deception roll. Ooh. He's tentatively believing you. He feels like something's off a little bit.
He wants to believe you.
He wants to believe you. He wants to get these fucking boots off, and he wants to believe you.
I say, hold on a sec. Let me talk to Nas real quick. Hold tight, Sildar. And I pull Nas aside.
And he says, what's the plan?
So, I'm kind of new to this. How do these boots seem to be cursed. How do you take cursed boots off a bloke that don't want to be wearing boots that be cursed?
He looks at you, and he's got his hammer and his tongs in his hand, and he just kind of shrugs his shoulder with this look on his face that says, "Fuck if I know."
When he does that, I look over his shoulder at Sildar, and I'm giving thumbs up and smiling.
Right on.
I say, well, oh, shit. I think he's going to have to wear these boots. for a little while, at least, until we can figure out a way to get him off him. I do have a friend who is friendly with the gods, especially the best god, and I could get him to come by here and see what he could do. Maybe he has a way to remove the curse. But in the meantime, I need you to help me sell the idea that these boots aren't going to jump him into a well. That they might not fit great, but they're going to be okay.
He looks at you extremely confused because he doesn't know you from Adam, and he barely even knows who Sildar is. Brand new town.
I lean over and I put my arm around Myrna. Is that what you said her name was? Or Midra?
Myrna.
Oh, Myrna?
I put my arm around Myrna and I go, "Hey there, Myrna. You doing all right?"
And she says, "Oh, much better now. The town really seems to be coming together."
Yeah, you're doing much better now since we saved you. Sounds good. Hey, by the way, Knowles, me and Myrna go back a little ways, and if I just know that if you could help me out in this, she'd surely appreciate it. So would
he's not saying anything. He's not saying anything or behaving any particular way, but you do notice that when you put your arm around Myrna, that he didn't like that. He's not being like, "Hey, get your arm off my girl," or he's not taking a aggressive stance with you or anything. But his face changed from being confused to, "Oh, I don't like that."
Okay, well, let me see if I notice that.
Okay. Roll perception. Anything above 10.
I did insight.
Oh, that's fine. It doesn't matter. That's fine. A roll's a roll. That was what your intended roll was. You definitely
So I
noticed
that. I flip my like as soon as I notice that, I get to a much more friendly, stance with her, and like we're just buddies and everything. And I say, no, we go way back, but yeah, she's like a sister to me, and I just know that Sildar he'd be best off if your customer would be best off if we could get him to be comfortable with these boots for now until I can come back and deal with the situation.
He says, "Oi, I see what you're getting at. Yeah, we can do that."
All right, great. Well, let's talk to him. Let's tell him. I'm pretty sure I could give him a little bit of tips on how to use these, even though, from what I've heard, it sounds like it might be kind of magic boots, and he doesn't realize that. But maybe I could tell him how to use them, and he'll be all right with them until we can deal with the situation.
He says, "Magic, you say?" And he looks at you like he's looking at you like, "Duh."
Fair enough. Okay, so I go over to Sildar with him, like my arm around him.
Okay.
Well, we can fit the good news. Here's the good news, Sildar. We can fit these boots to you. Make them fit a little better, make them a little bit easier to control. The bad news is, until I get my friend Rogar over here to deal with that, you're going to have to keep him on for right now. We don't want to... It'll just make it harder if we take him off. So I think that what you got here might be flying boots, magic boots. And as long as you avoid saying the word fly, they'll probably just be regular boots to you.
He says, "Is that what activates them? The word fly?" As soon as he said that, he fucking levitates and hits his head on a rafter above him, and it knocks him out cold. He's just laying on the floor now, with his boots levitating above him.
Try taking the boots off, try taking the boots off, try taking the boots off.
Yeah, absolutely. While he's asleep, I'm going to try once more to try to take these boots off. Now that I'm not worried about his perception of it, like, I'm going to just frantically try to get him off, whether I'd have to use my dagger to try to cut the laces or whatever.
Is that what you're going to do?
That's what I'm gonna try to do. I don't want to hurt him at all, but I want to get the boots off, even if it means destroying the boots.
But
Well,
I mean,
if all they
is that your
did-
first go-to? Is to cut the laces? Is that the first thing you're gonna
But
try?
wait. If all they did was whip you when you tried to take them off with the shoehorn, why don't you just take a whipping and I'll help you give them a pull?
Take a what? I didn't hear what you said.
Take a whipping. The laces didn't hurt you. They were just trying to ward you off. Like they
okay.
were flailing about. It was like a sting, like maybe a bee sting, but it wasn't like it was hurting you.
Okay, if that's the case, then
Slip your shoehorn in there and we'll both give it a tug.
yeah, Brax, give me a hand here. You hold his leg, and I'll fucking grab a hold of this boot, and no matter if it whips me in the face, we'll try to tug it off.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You know, with Brax aiding you, give me a strength roll with advantage. Yeah. You got to hit at least the 16 mark.
Yep.
Boom. You got it. The first shoe comes off begrudgingly, but it comes off, and it's the second that shoe comes off, the laces quit flailing about, like immediately.
We got one of them. He's still knocked out.
And roll again. As I'm assuming he's still helping you.
Absolutely.
Oh, this time not so much luck. You tug on it, and those laces are a little more effective this time. They seem to be, instead of just flailing about, smacking you like in the face and stuff, these laces seem to have a little more intuition, and they're kind of whipping at your fingers, making it hard for you to grip the boot good. And you were unsuccessful.
Okay, the first one I was able to get off at unscathed. I'm gonna, with the difficulty of this one, I'm gonna pull my dagger out, and I'm gonna I don't want to hurt him. I'm gonna avoid hurting him at any cost. But I'm not worried about trying to salvage the boot anymore. I'm gonna cut laces if needed, or the boot if necessary, to try to get it off his foot while he's unconscious.
Why don't we just try to give it another pull?
Maybe Brax wants to give it a pull, and you ate him.
That sounds good to me. All right, you stand on my knee here.
I'm totally picturing that in my head too.
Oh, I saw the 20 there.
All right.
All the way.
And the boot almost doesn't come off, but in the very last tug, as Brax gives it all he has, it slips off, and immediately the laces become inanimate.
He's waking up! He's waking up! And I grab the boots and I hold him up in my hands away from Sildar as he's waking up.
And Sildar is real groggy. He starts rubbing his head, and he looks up at you guys in a daze. And you notice that the laces on both boots are like reaching out toward him.
I take a few steps back so that that's not so noticeable.
As soon as you get a few feet from him, they just kind of drop. But when they're near him,
you blacked out there for a minute, mate. But we took the boots off. I'm gonna get them fixed up.
He says, "Hey, mate, did you have to knock me out to take them off?"
No, sorry, that wasn't. That wasn't hard. But you, while we were taking them off, you lost your balance and you fell back and hit your head.
You don't even have to roll deception. Like, he totally believes you. He still doesn't understand how the boots work, and he totally doesn't remember you telling him that don't say the word fly, and that's all wiped from his memory. He hit himself hard, really hard.
I say, all right, here, Tilda, change your socks. I'm going to talk real quick to the smith here, and we'll get you some new boots here pronto.
He's rubbing this very present knot on the top of his head now. All right.
Okay, so I want to talk to Nas and say, look, I don't have any special boots to give him right now, but you got anything that can fit him?
He says, well, I'm not a cobbler, not by any means. Matter of fact, I don't think we have a cobbler here. But seeing as you took his boots, ain't it right you give him yours?
You're
Yeah, Gil.
a very funny man, Nas. Let me take a look at my pack here, since you don't seem to be equipped to do your job. Just a second.
He looked really confused when you said that, because he doesn't understand what shoes have to do with things of the metal type. He doesn't understand how he would be making shoes as a smithy.
Gil looks through his bag and he's totally used to having. Oh, he digs down the bottom of his bag. He pulls out a pair of pretty nice goblin fine leather boots, and he whips those out and takes a look at them compared to Sildar's feet.
Now, didn't you already alter those boots?
Not this wear.
He had like 2 or 3 different pairs of shoes.
Yeah, I've had several. But this is a pair of pretty nice goblin boots that I asked you about them previously, and you said that they don't seem special in any way. They're just pretty nice.
Right.
And they were worn by a goblin who was dressed pretty nice in Cragmaw Castle.
Right.
But, you said there was nothing too special about them, but I'm looking at the size of them, and I'm looking at Sildar's feet to see how well they might fit.
And Sildar has surprisingly small feet.
No, he doesn't. They look like there definitely need to be some alterations for him to be able to even put them on.
I say, Sildar, there's been quite a mix-up here. I've got a pair of boots you could wear, but it's gonna take me a day or two to fix them up and to fit you. So I apologize for giving you that bum set of kicks, but I'm gonna fix these up nice. And in the meantime, you're gonna have to put your old boots back on. I apologize for that.
He says, well, I don't have any old boots, but I'm pretty sure I can go procure some from the inn. We're in pretty good standing.
How much, given my knowledge?
Roach tosses him a gold and says, well, make sure it's a damn fine pair.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Okay.
And it almost lands like right in his hand, and he looks at it and nods at you, and he says, I sure want to thank you two for getting those off me. He's rubbing that knot on his head, and he said, they sure were a headache.
Yeah,
Roach laughs and he says, apparently you have no idea.
He says he pats Gil on the shoulder, and he says, the jetting goons to the rescue again. And then he walks out.
Yeah, as he's leaving, I say, again, I want to apologize for this. When I gave you those boots, I was not nearly as experienced with them as I am now, and I guarantee you, I'm going to turn this pair of pretty nice-looking, fine leather goblin boots into something you'll be proud to strut around fandom in.
Right on. He hears you and just kind of waves from his back's already facing you. He's heading down the road to get him some shoes.
Hello?
Hello?
Hmm?
Are y'all not hearing me?
Oh no, I can hear you.
Sorry,
I can hear everything.
I had accidentally hit mute when I was trying to talk. Sorry.
Oh, well, my mic's been cutting out, so I thought it was me.
So anyway, I told him, that I would get him a pair of nice boots, and he should go get some for now.
Yeah, and that's what he's doing. He's heading off down the road to Lion Shield Coster to get him some.
Okay.
Some
I
boots
fucked
for
this
now.
up, but I'm ready to bid farewell to Nas and tell the lady and her daughters by.
And okay. And everyone wishes you well, and Nards makes sure to shake your hand one more time, and he kind of giggles, you know, and in his own little weird way, and he's like, well, I sure am glad you got them off him for his sake. they might have killed that bloke.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, let me tell you, Nos, since you're clearly a complete inept, idiotic novice when it comes to footwear, if you get any business come your way looking for fine footwear, please send them asking around about me if you would. Usually you can find me at the Stonehill Inn.
And he seems fairly insulted by that, and he just looks at you like, yeah, sure, I will. And he almost immediately lets go of his grip on your hand, and basically turns his back to you and goes back to work.
Okay, Gil's totally oblivious to that reaction and thinks he did well.
Well, Gil.
Like,
Gil's way with words.
He elbows Roach. He's like, that's how you drum up business for a new enterprise. You gotta know about networking.
Roach face palms and shakes his head, says, "Oh, Gil." But at the same time, Roach would like to ask the smithy here if he could look at his nicest piece of cutlery as far as a short sword.
Sure. What do you want?
And I mean, I'm not looking for nothing like magical, but I've just got a regular short sword. I want something fucking pretty. I
Okay.
understand it's not going to be extravagant, but you know, something nicer than what we've got.
He's looking at what you're showing him, and he says, "Well, friend, if you're looking for weapons, I would suggest going to the Lion Shield Costa. He says, I'm more so into repairing carriages, door hinges." And he just goes on and on like Bubba Gump, with the shrimp this, shrimp that. And
shrimp souffle, shrimp salad.
Exactly. He's going off about all.
I elbow Roach and I say, "Oh, he can't repair just about anything like our old man. This new guy she's got, he can only repair very specific things. No shoes, no weapons, only things that aren't of any."
He looks at Gil and kind of butts into the conversation and says, "Well, I mean, I could repair a sword if it was broken or something like that, but I mean, you're wanting something fancy and something ornate, and I don't do that kind of work."
Yeah, like I said.
Understood. Well, you have a right fine day. We've got to be getting out of here.
You know what? As oblivious as Gil has been, regardless, you at least are starting to get the impression that you are like sandpaper to this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The more you talk, the less he likes you.
Understood.
Okay, so you guys taking off?
Yeah, we're gonna head back up and try to eventually catch up with everybody at the farm.
Okay, as you guys are about to reach the farm, Zeth there makes it to the apothecary, and he is greeted by a very enchanting looking woman wearing an extremely ornate red and black flowing long dress with a small tail that trails behind her. Not her tail, the tail of the dress. And it even has like somewhat of a collar attached to the dress. And strangely enough, for somebody who does this kind of work, you wouldn't expect it to be so slinky and sexy. The dress has a split that goes damn near up to her crotch, and she's showing a considerable amount of leg. She has long, just straight black hair, and it almost goes all the way down to her ass. And she's wearing some very ornate jewelry, all gold, with a large emerald pendant on her necklace, and two very large jewels in her earrings that are also emerald, but quite large, something you would see in an earring. They look pretty heavy for earrings. And she says, "Welcome." She sounds like she's a smoker, like a heavy smoker. She says, "Welcome to the Sleeping Giant Apothecary and Curios." And she does her arm. She slowly waves her arm inward toward the building, like she's greeting you and beckoning you inside. Standing in the doorway with one knee just a little raised, enough to stick out from the cut in her dress. Zeth? Anybody?
Oh,
I'm here.
I'm here.
Okay.
I guess it'd help if I'm not muted. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Sorry.
I thought
But
you
yeah, no,
have to
sorry.
repeat
I was
all
gonna
of
say,
that.
she almost sounded attractive up until that voice part, and I'm like, okay.
No, I'm picturing the voice from the chick from The Expanse.
Actually, you should be picturing the voice of Dr. Girlfriend.
That's
I don't know who that
exactly what the fuck I was thinking.
I have no clue who Dr. Girlfriend is, so.
Yep.
Oh, it's from a cartoon.
Okay.
I don't know what The Expanse is, but
I'll find her name and throw a video link in there later. I'm outside.
right on.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, that just kind of walks in and is like, yeah, I'm looking for for a potion, healing potion.
She says, "Healing potions. We have. Anything else you need?"
That's basically all you got. It's money for is one of those.
Right on. She says,
"All right, let me get you one."
and she walks behind this, like a curtain, a real heavy, ornate curtain, like what you would guess maybe in a wealthy man's keep. It just looks so out of place in Phandalin. So does her dress, and everything about her just looks so out of
Wrong.
place for this area. And as she walks behind that curtain from the other side of the room, this older man emerges, and you can tell from the garb immediately that he must be a wizard of some kind. And from what you can see, the old tavern almost seems split into two different businesses. Because he's sitting behind a desk on the left-hand side of you, and her area is to the right-hand side of you, and you see a bunch of herbs and vials and mushrooms and all kinds of plants and things on this side. And on the side where the man's sitting, you see all kinds of like crystals and little trinkets and things along those lines. And he sees you and kind of is surprised, like he didn't know anybody else was in the store, and he says, "Have you been helped?"
Sort of, but what's this place looks kind of split in half.
Well, she's got the apothecary, and I have the curios.
Sounded like you said Cheerios. What?
Sure. That's what he said. Cheerios.
That's what he said, Cheerios? Really?
No.
The Cheerios? What?
He says Cheerios. You dolt.
Oh, explain that to me, like, in greater detail.
You know, trinkets, magical items, things of that lot.
Bring me back an ounce of the best kif and you can join the group.
Huh?
Nothing.
Missed his chance.
I could barely hear him. Like, he sounds muffled.
He said,
I
"Bring
sound
him
muffled?
back an ounce of the best kiff, and you can join the group."
The best gift?
Kiff, it's like
Kiff.
weed, dude.
Oh. That's trinkets, not freaking weed. It's not drugs.
Oh, the apothecary might have that.
Oh, well, maybe. But, yeah. Joseph only has so much money, so buy a whole lot. But he is curious.
About this time, the enchanting woman reemerges from behind the curtain, holding a small vial in front of her hand, and she presents it to you. And the little jar that it's in seems to be almost of like a fine crystal, and it's exceptionally smaller than the healing potions you've seen in the past.
Oh, this is rather small.
And she says,
Don't let its size fool you. It packs quite a wallop.
and as she's saying this, she's like doing this little sexy slithering saunter toward you, like she's almost of like a serpentine nature.
Okay.
You weren't
just
kidding about
kinda-
that tail.
You don't get the feeling that she's trying to seduce you in any way. It's not like she's trying to be sexy. It's just you get the feeling that that's her. That's how she does her thing.
I just can't help it, you know?
He just kind of shrugs and nods a bit. He's like, so how much for this?
50 gold.
And she, as she's presenting it to you in the one hand, as she says that, she reaches out her other hand in front of you, empty, awaiting payment.
Debating the phone and try to duck her down, but shitty persuasion. Oh, he has no persuasion. Yeah. He just kind of takes out the gold and hands it to her.
And she takes the gold and takes it behind her little desk she has there, and she says,
If you need anything else, you come right to me.
and she smiles, and as she smiles, for a moment, you almost notice some strange glimmer in one of her eyes.
Alrighty then. Then, Seth gives her a nod and is like, thanks. And then he walks over to the jewelry side and it's like, so what kind of magical abilities do these things have?
He says, well, we've got all kinds of things here. What are you looking for?
Just give me a brief rundown, like, as if you're trying to sell me stuff.
He says, well, here, this pendant aids in persuasion. It will help you persuade others into doing the things that you would like them to do. And then he says, and this ring here, well, let's not kid ourselves. You couldn't afford this ring anyway.
Well,
Moving
what is it?
along.
No, what is it?
He just says,
Don't just
moving
stop.
along, and he
No,
ignores
no.
you.
He
He's totally
stops-
ignoring you. He's totally ignoring you.
He like stops his hand and is he holding the ring or something?
No,
No.
he was just pointing at it in his cabinet there. And he says, and this belt here, this belt will give you a tad bit extra strength. And then he moves along and he says, and this headpiece will make you a little smarter. You might be interested in this one. And he,
Zeth goes back to that one ring. It's like, tell me about the ring and what it does.
show me that you have more than 100 gold in your purse, and we'll talk.
So what? I can't get information unless I have money?
He looks over at the enchanting woman again, and he goes, well, look, we have another window shopper. Be gone, be gone. And he turns his back to you and walks and sits behind his desk and starts reading out of this book he has opened and sprinkling this kind of dust on something, and he's just completely ignoring you now.
How much for the belt?
And he looks up and he goes, 200 gold.
Holy crap.
Jesus.
And he looks back at her again and says, see, I told you, nothing but a looky-loo, and goes back to what he's doing.
Kira wants to be channeled so bad right now.
Strangely enough, as big as you are, and as old and as frail as this wizard looks,
He is seemingly completely unintimidated by you. He feels like he could be shitty to you and he don't fucking care. You know what I mean? Like he's not worried about it.
He just kind of steps a bit and turns and walks out.
Okay. And you all arrive short of death at the Alderley farm, and you're greeted by Kayleen and Carp, and Kayleen says, welcome, welcome. We're just finishing dinner. There's more on the pot if anybody's interested.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh wait. Well, hello. It's good to see you again. Thank you.
And she welcomes you with a big warm hug. She reaches down and hugs you, and you don't get the feeling it's anything
back,
more than
of
just
course.
friendliness.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a friendly hug. She's genuinely happy to see the friends of Amale's.
Is Amalie around?
Well, yes, she's inside eating with Carp.
Oh,
please,
good,
please
good.
come in. And she's trying to usher all of you inside the house.
When we get in, as soon as I see Amalie,
Wait, hang on. Right before Brax walks in, he kind of pulls her to the side and says, "Looks like the farm's doing well. There's no reason to let it get any softer now." And he hands her another 10 gold to continue the efforts of the farm.
I thought
Aw.
Brax was with Gil way up north.
And well, they already left. They were coming down to the farm while you were having your thing at the apothecary. Well, yeah, they had already said they were going to go to the farm, but that they were headed
Brax
to the
and
smithy
Gil
first.
went up to the smithy. Yeah, I figured it'd take them that just to get down there.
Well, yeah, 5 minutes or so. I'd say your dealings with the wizard and the apothecarist were about that amount of time.
Remember, this city is not very big, Nick.
Yeah, it's a small place, man. But you can walk across the entire town in less than 5 minutes. But anyway, she graciously takes your coin and reaches all the way down to you and kisses you warmly on the cheek and kind of rifles her fingers through your hair and says, "You're such a godsend. Please come in and eat of my cooking."
And Brax just kind of nudges her and he says, it's all about luck and turnabout. Pay it forward. Especially to good people. And then he walks in the house.
She serves you all up with a bowl of it's not quite stew because it doesn't have a lot of liquid to it, but it has quite a bit of vegetables and meat. No, a little bit drier than a soup. You know, I mean, it has moisture to it, but it's not. It's more vegetables and meat than anything. It's just like
steamed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, as soon as I see Amalia, I'll go over to and say, I have some sort of correspondence for you, and I pull out the little rolled up message from the pouch and hand it to her. And I say, it was delivered to Harbin with a crow, which is interesting.
Emily? Hello?
Hello?
Emily?
Sorry, it was muted. I don't know why.
What's up with all you people in the meeting?
Come on, people.
I nod at him. My eyes casted down. I'm depressed. It's very obvious I'm depressed. I've barely touched my stew or my soup, and I grab it from him and open it to see what it says.
Now, is that something you want me to tell you in general chat here? Or is that something?
Yeah, sure.
Really?
Actually, no. I meant private chat. My bad.
Okay.
I'll just go sit
Do you
down.
need to know this exact moment, or is this
No,
something I can tell you later?
I guess you can tell me later.
Okay, I'll tell you later.
No, it's
So
not relevant.
She opens the note and reads it, and just kind of nods and rolls it back up and sticks it in her. Sticks it where, honey?
In my bra.
In your bosom?
Yeah, in my bosom.
So,
okay.
She's noticeably distraught, right?
Yes.
Brax pulls out his flask, which he had filled with that strong-ass shit. He takes a shot
that's empty.
What?
Oh, are you talking about,
I refilled my flask before all that shit went down when we spilt it and stuff.
Yeah, I forgot, yeah.
But I was going to take a swig and offer her one as well. Carefully waiting to grab it before she drinks too much, of course.
I do try to take a big gulp, but he of course grabs it. I only end up getting like a sip, like half of a shot.
Oh no! I wanted you to have a shot. I wouldn't pull it away unless you was pulling like a 2 or 3 second.
All right, then I'll take a shot.
Okay, as you do, this is probably the strongest liqueur you've ever experienced. It literally feels like fire in your throat.
All right, I'll cough and spit it.
Brax tells her that'll kill the pain.
It will surely help. That's all I'm gonna say.
So
I'm gonna take another bite of my stew.
So Kayleen says, "So, what are you lot on about this time? I hear y'all are getting ready to go somewhere."
Indeed, we're going to be continuing our quest to find this ancient, what would we call it, a cavern? They say it's been lost to the ages, and we've just now discovered its whereabouts, and that's where we're headed.
Well, I sure do hope y'all the best, and that y'all have a safe endeavor, and that everybody comes home in one piece.
Oh,
I sure do.
I'll
I
make
sure
sure
do
of
want
that.
to see you all again. It sure was heartbreaking to say the least to see you come back less one.
Yeah. Yes. I'll make sure we all come back this time.
Aww.
Allie will pat him on the back and rub it for a bit, try to make him feel better.
Gil will say, "Well, if it makes you feel any better, we're arguably stronger." And then he kind of looks over at Rogar when he says that. And he's like, never mind.
Stronger in our convictions, if nothing else.
Right, that's what I meant.
Well, thank you so much for this stew.
Well, be sure and eat
soup,
up and get a full
food.
belly before you head down your travels.
Thank you. And Rogar just like goes to town on the food.
Right on.
It's no Harbin stew though.
Toblin.
Toblin.
Toblin stew.
Tobin, sorry. Hey.
I don't know how good a Harbin stew would be.
I don't know. Did his guards make it for him? He's got guards.
I've got cooks.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do? You all eaten and
Yeah. After we've eaten, I wanna, I think right as soon as we leave the farm, I wanna pull everyone together and bust out the strongbox.
okay.
So, unless there's anything else someone wants to do here at the farm.
Did we
Isn't
actually
that-
talk to Gundren and Sildar about what we wanted to talk to them about, or did I just?
Oh yeah, we
miss
just
that?
didn't
Nope.
do that.
So
Yeah,
They don't even know that y'all found the fucking way to Wayback Cave.
After we
Gil-
split up this
Gil
money,
got
Allie
completely
wants to go
distracted.
back to the town master's hall and like
Yeah.
track both of them down and sit down with them.
Yeah.
And then she wants to track down Zethran and sit down with him too.
Okay. But as you leave, you said you were going to break out the strong
Yeah,
box?
yeah. Everyone, we have received some form of payment for the bounty on our old friend Glassstaff.
Oh, glorious.
And with that, I would like to open the strongbox.
Okay, you put the key in and click it over, and this green gas starts. No, I'm just kidding.
It's okay. I'm resistant to poison.
you open the top of it, and there's a small mound of shiny gold, and I'm assuming you have Alleria counted out because she's normally your money counter, and she sees that there is exactly 199 gold.
Why you gotta hurt me like that? Why can't it be 200?
Bullshit. I'm with you on that. So, everyone gets 39 gold,
Sweet.
and Allie pockets the remaining.
Well, I mean,
What is
Rax
it?
looks and he says, "To be technical, guys, I can't take your money. I wasn't there for this endeavor."
You're part of us now. Don't you worry about it.
So everybody got what then?
How much?
39 gold.
How many people are in this room? In this
There's
again?
only 5 of us total. And Allie got 43 because she's selfish.
Well, she is.
All right. Well, Brax wants to pull home girl aside again and He gives her another 10 gold and says, I want you to invest in the best, stinkiest damn cave you can find. And I want you to grow me one big, ugly, nasty plant.
And she says, okay. Normally I wouldn't have anything to do with anything like that, but for you, absolutely.
Now we know why Roach was paying her all the time. He wants his
Right.
own fucking little weed factory.
He wants his own little pot farm.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing wrong with investments now.
That is totally wrong, using my sister as a freaking weed farmer.
Using her.
Hey, I'd grow it myself, but it's just for personal use. I don't want to sell the shit. Besides, in this world, it's medicinal. It's not exactly illegal, you know.
I'd like to clarify something real quick, back a bit. When Lynn gave Rogar the money, it was the remaining 200, correct?
Yeah.
Not the whole total?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean the whole total?
I only borrowed 200 gold from Lynn.
Correct. That's what you asked for, and that's what she gave you.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Because Allie's greedy.
Yeah, Sugar Mama done gave him the 200 he needed.
Okay. That was all. Sorry. Continue.
Alright. So, y'all are heading back to the hall?
Yes.
Okay. And, as you arrive, you see Sildar and Gundren both out in front of the building talking, and you catch the ass end of the conversation, and you can hear Sildar telling Gundren, and, from what I'm told, I flew up and hit my head on the banister. I don't quite remember it all, but, I tell you what, that old Gil, he sure saved me, 'cause, I could have ended up hurt much more than I was. God, sure I'm thankful that, he was willing to help me out like that. No one else could get him off me.
Oh, Gil, it sounds
And
like you had
he
an
sees you and
adventure.
he sees you guys walking up and says, Gil, I was just talking about you.
Oh, good, I hope.
And he kind of chuckles with you. Nothing but good, nothing but good. And Gundren looks at you guys and he says, well, how are the jetting goons doing this fine evening?
Well, we have some news for you, gentlemen.
Is that so?
Indeed, indeed. Would you like to go and, sit down when we talk about it, or are you
Is
fine?
it that bad?
Oh, no,
That bad
no.
that I need a seat?
Not bad, no, but you might need a seat anyway. It is rather momentous news.
I says, okay. And he walks inside and Gundren follows him, and there's a table set up in the main office that just has like envelopes and writing utensils and things like that on it, with a couple of chairs a few feet from Harbin's desk. And Harbin doesn't seem to pay you guys much mind. I mean, he looks over his paperwork and sees y'all and kind of smiles and waves, but he's not trying to get too into what you guys are doing.
Well, we have found the way to Wave Echo Cave.
And Gundren says,
well, it was on my map, wasn't it?
Well, yes, but we know how to get in now.
and his eyes get huge, like really big, and he says,
"What's that you say? You found the entrance? We've been searching for that for a year now."
Yes. Well, we were able to find an old druid who knows how to get in. They say he's the only one who knows, and well, now we know.
Me and my brother once went that way, but we heard tales of a dragon and decided against it.
Aye, that dragon, that dragon. Well, the dragon has been taken care of.
You slayed a dragon?
Something like that.
Close enough. In essence, yes. But not without losses of our own.
Losses? What did you lose along the way?
A friend.
And he looks you over.
And he says, I'll be one of you is that dapper young man that always dressed so well.
No, I hate to break it to you, but it's not me. It was.
He looks at you and kind of,
But seriously.
Yes.
It
Wow.
was Dervish.
Dervish.
Oh yes, Dervish. That's right. Dervish.
It was. No, his name wasn't Devish. Or Dervish? You said.
Dervish.
No, it was Devon. Devon.
Yeah, Devin.
Devin. Oh, Devin.
No. I just pray that his sacrifice was not in vain.
Devin, not Devin.
No.
We are fully aware.
We're just messing with you since you're listening. Making sure you're listening.
But it would cause us much joy if you were to join us. I assume you would want to join us anyway, Gundren. But Sildar, if you could join us as well, that would be wonderful.
Gundren looks completely confused by what you're saying. I mean, like, bewildered. And says,
well, I don't understand. This is my expedition. You would be joining me.
Fair enough.
All right, well, let's put our map away. We'll just tuck it away. Let's take your map and all your knowledge, and we'll follow you the way back, okay, giving your directions on how to get there.
Gil. I understand, but it is his expedition, and I would be very happy to help him complete it.
And
Gundren
says,
he doesn't want our help, Rogar. He doesn't want our help. Did you hear?
Now, Gundren cuts you off in the middle of what you're saying, and he tells you,
You must have really misunderstood me. What I'm saying is that not only would your help be appreciated, but if it was my expedition and you were helping me, there would be payment for such behaviors. But if you'd rather go on your own...
Well, you see, as I said before, we would be happy to help you on your expedition. And he, elbows Gil in the ribs, like...
No, Gil says, Gundren, I thought that's what you were saying. I just wanted to make sure for everybody else's sake.
And he still looks a little confused.
You cut out there.
Hello?
You cut out.
Am I still cutting out?
No, you're back now.
Ah, God damn it. These fucking headphones are so dead. I unplugged them to go pee and then they start dying right away.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you don't charge your headphones, guys.
Yeah.
Alright, they should be good now. Alright, so he says, so Sildar looks at the crew and he says, so, when are y'all gonna be ready to shove off?
Hrogar looks around at everyone else and says, well, I'm ready now. Is there anything else you guys wanted to do?
He says, well, your party's looking like you're a little bit light there. You might be missing someone. Is there Anybody y'all had in mind to replace?
Oh, you might have
Devin.
You might have forgot, Gundren, but we lost Dermy. I mean Devo. Devo.
I mean Dennis.
We lost Devo. Dennis. We lost Dennis.
At this moment, Emily is gonna scream, "His effing name was Devith!"
Right, Devith, yes.
Like, right now, if looks could kill, you guys would be murdered.
Yeah,
Badly.
Gil is
Badly
like
murdered.
frozen, staring at you like holy shit.
What did you all expect?
Hrogar like hangs his head and mumbles something to the effect of, he was just trying to lighten the mood.
And she's like breathing heavy.
He says, right. Devin. Well, did y'all have a replacement in mind?
No one can replace
ground
Devith,
something up.
but
Look,
there is someone else who can help us. We could use some more bodies. Perhaps that new guy could join us.
Absolutely. Rogar's got the right of it. There's no replacing Devis. But we did meet somebody else who could.
You mean the new person you've all been a little cruel towards?
Everybody but me.
Yes.
I don't think anybody's been cruel towards him at all, right?
Okay, you guys have all been shitty.
I think
towards him.
everyone's intentions have been kind of twisted. That would all be just a point of view. It seems like to us, maybe we were just kind of being protective and we didn't want anybody getting fucked over.
Out of game, this person has not expressed any interest at all in joining our group, and nobody has given them back anything worse than that. I mean,
he's not the type to actually, try to join groups. He wants to be invited.
he doesn't want to join.
He's a
Oh,
vampire.
you gotta suck his dick to be his friend.
Oh, no, it's not like that. He's not going to sit there and ingratiate himself into a group.
He's not gonna force himself on top of everybody.
Yeah, he's not going to jump in like Brax and be like, I'm in here.
He wants it
And
to
then
be
run away.
consensual.
It almost worked, bro, but no, I spent time trying to avoid the party. Sorry.
No, he wants us to ask him to join the group.
Yeah, he's a vampire. He needs to be invited in.
A vampire Goliath. Wow.
Better than a
He's got a shit ton of strength.
Fuck, I haven't even seen him since yesterday. Is he even still in town?
Well, we saw him here at the Townmaster's Hall a little while ago.
So, Harbin looks over his paperwork and he says,
You mean that big fella?
Yes, probably.
I saw him traipsing on down the trail toward your manor up there.
The manor? Why is he going to the... Okay, let's go.
Just, okay, let's go.
And with that, Hrogar...
Come on.
Hrogar,
By the time you get up to the manor, your guys are going to see him, like, helping them out fucking build the shit. Just because he's that bored. He's like, yeah, might as well, since I'm here, start using this muscle. So he's moving fucking boulders and shit.
Ali will tell Gundren and Sildar that perhaps we should leave tomorrow morning and give us some minutes to sort our affairs when we should be good to go. If there's anyone else you'd like to take with us, we can do that in the morning.
I mean, it's like noon, isn't it?
It's like noon, yeah.
No, you talking about dinner at Alderley Farm? What time?
No, that was lunch.
That wasn't dinner. That wasn't
you
dinner.
Said dinner.
That was lunch.
You did say
You
dinner,
did say
honey.
dinner, but you meant lunch.
But it's the same back then. Dinner was lunch.
Supper is the evening meal.
Nah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Sure.
But yeah, it's like I was.
Yeah, it's like noon. Y'all guys got up at daybreak, and you've only had a handful of interactions. I wouldn't imagine that's been more than 4 or 5 hours tops.
Yeah. So I was confused, but I mean, as long as everyone's okay, we can leave in a few hours. give us.
I see.
a
I,
little
I
bit
thought
about
Alleria
everything
was
else?
confused simply because she's a blonde, but we'll go with that.
No, no.
That contributed at least.
Right.
She does get mildly distracted walking past the apothecary, though. But then she'll keep going.
Yeah, it was like
Okay, so,
peek my head in.
You're gonna peek your head in?
Well, like from outside, just like kind of like crane my
Glancing
neck
through.
and like look in the door.
You notice that the door doesn't seem to be closed. It's wide open, but there's a very heavy curtain draped across the entrance of the business. And of course, you see what you saw earlier, but in better detail. That they haven't even changed the name of the business. They've just added a banner that said Apothecary and Curios. That at least for now, it's still Sleeping Giant.
All right. All right.
Like
well,
they haven't had much time to do much there, you know,
Yeah.
other than set up basic shop.
All right. Well, with that, we'll continue down the path.
Well, before we leave the Alderleaf farm, I tell Kayleen, well, I guess we'll leave this big old tall brute. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, we weren't Alderleaf. We were at the manor.
Y'all were at the town
Now
master's hall.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I tell the people working on the manor, well, we'll leave this big tall brute here to help you, I suppose. And
What?
take off.
What?
Wait,
You guys
y'all
got
haven't even,
there?
What?
you haven't made it to the manor yet.
No, we're on our way to the manor.
Didn't we just go there?
No,
No,
you
we're
just
on
We
our
were
left the
way.
town
we were
master's hall.
Town Master's Hall.
How did we see him working on the manor?
We
We're
didn't.
walking up to the manor.
Gundren told us he went to the manor.
Gundren. Okay, we did not.
I
see
just
him
said
there.
whenever you
Or
guys
someone in
arrived,
town
you'll
Actually-
be seeing.
Actually, Harbin told you that he was
Yeah.
seen headed down the trail toward the manor, and then you guys cut across that field and walked in front of the apothecary.
Yeah.
Okay,
And you're on your way to.
I
No,
thought
I
Zephyr
said that's what you would
see
see
me there
him
working
doing.
on the manor.
That's what
Yeah,
you
that's
would
what
see
it
him
says
doing
it.
once you walk up.
Okay,
I
but
mean,
he's wrong. We're not there. We didn't.
I
see
know.
that.
I just said once you walk up. I didn't say when you guys were walking up. I just said once you do.
Well, you'd probably see him from the distance. It's up on a hill. There's no obstructions.
Okay, I
You'd
thought
probably
we were
see
already
him.
there. We can wait.
You'd probably see him occasionally carrying like a really large piece of wood. That would probably take 2 or 3 guys to carry, and
I
he
thought
just
this
it looks
meant
like
we
he's
were
helping out.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you guys is Amelie with y'all?
Yes.
I assume so.
Because I don't see your token, but I see your wolves still at the farm.
Yeah, none of you are moving your tokens.
Nobody's
I
looking
left
at
my wolves at the farm.
3 people are still up at the smithy.
Oh, you left your wolves at the farm?
Yes.
They're gonna be guarding the farm.
Playing. Alice is going to be playing with Cart. Declan's just kind of monitoring everything.
All right.
Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. Good.
So you guys are headed up the trail, and like I said, from the distance as you're starting to climb up these plateaus to the top where the manor is, you can clearly see Zeth because he sticks out like a sore thumb, as big as he is, and you see him helping the construction crew there making repairs on the manor.
I'm gonna wait till he like comes down and walks near us.
Are you all going to actually go to the manor?
Yeah. I did it.
Okay. And
That sounded so wrong.
and you walk up there, and you seem to be standing near a large pile of timber that Zeth is walking towards to grab some more timber.
Sir. I know we didn't necessarily get off on the best of feet, but Zethrin, was it, right?
Oh, forget the chivalry. Look here,
Uh,
you want to go make some money and kill some things?
Zeth just kind of like puts a hand on the freaking timber and then just kind of eyes them all and looks at Brax and then looks at Roker and it's like, I don't want to talk to the little one right now.
Which one?
The little one. Just the tiny one, okay?
That was a fair question, though.
The tiny one. You're fine.
Okay, alright.
No one said you had to talk, but you've got a decision to make.
He's going to have Rogar repeat it, so.
Would you like to join us? We're going to probably kill some things and get some money.
Now, where is this at?
This is in a legendary cave that we have just now discovered the location of and how to get in there.
Brax is going to walk around to all the muscly looking types and see who's down for adventures as well.
And Gundren is with you guys. He followed you from the Time Master's Hall. He's ready to go. And him and Sildar both. And Gundren chimes in and says, "Hey, shorty, there's a bit of coin in it for you if you're willing to help us out."
He just kind of looks at Gundren and just kind of chuckles.
When you look at Gundren, this is probably the first time you've seen him, and he's a dwarf as well.
Yeah,
and
that's why he's laughing.
He's very well dressed. I mean, maybe not to the standards of say like a lord or something like that, but for a commoner, he's pimping.
But yeah, Zeth's just kind of chuckling at Gundren there. He's like, well, Mr. Big Guy.
Mr. Big Guy.
Are any of these construction workers...
He squints at you when you say that. When you call him Big Guy, he squints at you a little bit.
He's calling him short. He's going to call him Big Guy.
Sure.
Considering that's like, fucking huge compared to him, probably.
Sure.
Gil elbows Rogar and whispers, "How much money is it that's in this for us, anyway?"
He leans over and nudges Gundren. I have a question from some of my friends. How much money is in this, by chance?
He says, "That's a very good question. Before you run off, keep in mind that it might end up being better than you ever wished."
But it could also be very worse.
Gil, I am told that the amount of money is beyond our wildest dreams.
Everybody's saying this out loud, or are they trying to be like whispering?
Yeah, I'm saying it relatively quiet.
Gundren wasn't being quiet.
Well, Zeth was trying to look at Gundren and be like, well, sounds like you got a deal to me.
He says, "I'm gonna be honest with you. Up front, you're risking your lives for nothing. But to those that survive, if, and that's a big if, we take this cave, my family's cavern, and get the forge back going again, which we most definitely will if we take it, I will make you all partners."
I'm into it.
He says, "And by this, you will be cut in on all the profits from here on out."
I already said I was in.
Well, hold on, just a second.
And he laughs and he goes,
"Brother, I knew you were in before anybody."
Gundren.
Rogar claps him on the
Quick
back.
question. I've been talking to some other people in our group. This doesn't come from me, but some people wanted to know. This is a pretty dangerous mission.
Oh, it is.
What would have happened if we were to win the day But if you didn't quite survive for whatever reason,
Hey,
Oh.
hey, you really think I would let anything happen to Gundren?
Sildar, when you said that, Sildar kind of looks at you real intently, and he doesn't take so much as an aggressive stance, but he looks at you closely and sets his palm on the hilt of his sword.
Is it because Devith's dead that Gil has to start being Devith now?
His spirit
Y'all
lives on.
misunderstand me.
Apparently.
You misunderstand me. I'm not. I certainly don't want anything to happen to Gundren. I love Gundren. I'm saying that if, let's say that the end of there's a final battle. Let's say all of us are killed, except for the two great heroes, Zevith and Amelie's girl dog. Like, just the two of them be left. Who's gonna, like, what happens then?
And Gundren looks at you, and he seems to be mulling it around in his mind.
Well, I guess you'd have to cross that bridge when you get there.
I assure you nothing will happen while I'm still alive.
Okay, well, what I'm hearing now then is that it's more important for Gundren to survive than for anybody else to survive. Because if everybody else lives and Gundren dies for some reason, we don't get anything. That's what I'm understanding. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
He doesn't correct you.
Oh, we do get a nice forge.
No, I don't think we do.
And he says, well, my family does have the deed to the cavern and the forge.
Well, this is kind of what I'm getting at, Gundren. Where's that deed? If who else is in your family that has it if things don't work out for our group?
Well, I have 2 brothers and a son. I would imagine it would go to one of them.
One brother and a son?
Isn't at least one?
Did you say that out? Did you say that out loud?
No, that was so sorry. That is correct though. It is only one brother now and a son.
That is correct, but did you say that out loud?
No. Ali's not gonna go there.
He's ignorant to one of his brothers passing.
I thought we told him.
Did you?
Did we?
I don't remember.
Did we tell
I
him
don't
one of his
remember.
brothers?
When did we find
I
another
can't remember if
would
we
have
told him or
known.
not.
Sildar knows, and Sildar hasn't told him.
And Sildar's looking at you like,
It's like
So like, shut up.
Wait, when did we find the other dead dwarf? Was it whenever we
With
rescued
Sildar.
Did we rescue
Yeah.
Sildar and the dwarf was dead? Oh,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Ali won't
Wait,
comment
we
on
didn't
it
tell
right
him
now.
that by now?
I
Okay,
remember
in the dark.
somebody wanting to tell him, but the rest of the party talking them out of it.
I think it was Frogar that probably wanted to tell him.
I don't remember one way or the other.
I don't remember either.
I don't remember either, but alrighty.
Nonetheless, he answered your question. It's in the family name, and if he would perish, that the ownership of the mine would transfer over to one of his living relatives.
Well,
Right,
Yeah,
so
we could send word to say that get the profits anyways,
I
even
would
if
say,
you die.
yes, I would say better to worry about the people surviving than worrying about the money you might lose out if they were to die.
Well, Rogar, I want to agree with you on that, but I'm just telling you that if we all come out of this, except Gundren, what is our guarantee that anybody's going to be rewarded?
Rewarded for letting him die.
No, I'm saying if we win the day and we save the mine and we're ready to turn it over to his family or whatever,
At
what's our
this point,
guarantee that
it
we're going to
wouldn't
be
matter.
I would assume that would be up to his family.
He steps closer. He steps closer to Rogar and puts his arm around Rogar's shoulder, and he says,
You dare question the word of a dwarf of my standing.
not questioning your word at all. I'm saying in a situation where you're dead, Gundren. Your
I've
word's
giv-
no good once you're dead.
Zeth just kind of shakes his head and is like, doesn't really matter. Let's just make sure he lives then. How about that?
Allie kind of steps in and she will start speaking, and she'll say, Gundren, I believe what he's looking for is some reassurance that if the worst possible thing imaginable happens, what reassurance do we have of making sure that we get what was promised to us?
That's exactly right.
And he says, well, part of what you're being hired for is my protection. So, rightly, if I were to die, then the job is not complete.
Wait,
Well, as long as
if
we're
he dies, we
understanding
fail
and
our
agreement
mission.
with that, then.
I didn't hear what you said, DM.
Gotta
Exactly
keep
what
Gundren
Zeth just
alive
said to
or
you.
we fail. Or else we won't get paid. Basically, if Gundren dies, we're fucked.
Did he just
That's half the mission, is him surviving.
Yeah.
The other
Yeah,
half
Gil
is
just
securing the
left.
mines.
Hrogar spits on the ground and says, if he were to die, I wouldn't even want any payment. I don't see how you would.
Basically, if he dies, we fail. I'm still in because, guess what? We're here to protect him, and I kind of
You
want to
just
see
want
this.
to be loved.
I just want to be loved.
Bah.
Alright, nobody seems to want to deal with the fucking cold reality that we're faced with, so I guess I'll just go along with the group.
No, he clarified. If Gundren dies, we failed in our job, we don't get the payment.
Yeah, but everybody wants to pretend like there's no chance of that happening. What if that does happen? What if we all survive?
Then
except
we
Gundren?
don't get the payment. We're fucked. That's the point.
You failed the mission.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're halfway through and Gundren dies, we turn around and fucking leave?
If you want.
No, but I mean...
That's completely up to the party.
Yeah, I'm not
we don't
talking to
get
the
the
DM, I'm
agreed
talking to the
upon
party.
payment.
Why-
that
why
Oh,
Gundren
you're
would
talking
we
in
do
game.
that?
You're talking in game. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Farewell.
Why would we not do that? Because he said, like, if he dies, if he catches ill and dies a quarter of the way through, there's fucking no reason for us to continue. We will get shit.
Well, I
if he dies,
assume there's
bail
some
out.
stuff in there that might be some worth.
So we
I,
just
for
better
one,
take
would
what we
rather
can
see
carry
the forge.
I would like to see the forge. I happen to enjoy weapons. I bet you would make some nice ones.
You're goddamn right.
And he hears y'all talking about this. Then he says,
I'll tell you what. Anything, and I repeat, anything found in the caverns, short of the precious metal and the forge, found during our adventure, will be allotted to you. Don't ask for more.
Is that enough for you, Gil?
I don't think that ought to be enough for any of us, but clearly I'm the only one who thinks this way, so I'll go along with whatever the group wants.
Is Gil
Hrogar-
missing the fact that we're gonna get less now but more later? Is that what's happening?
But we're not going to get more later if anything happens to Gundren.
Yeah.
no, but you'll get everything that you find in the mines would be considered his property. Considered it's his property.
Yeah, but who is he to give that to us? There's a fucking guy saying, if I'm dead, I have no way of stopping you from taking anything. Yeah, I fucking know that. I know it doesn't.
Okay.
You bequeathing it to us doesn't mean shit, is what I'm saying.
He thinks that he's being more than generous, and that he's done with this conversation. Unless somebody engages him otherwise, he's not interested in talking.
Hrogar just wants to pull him off to the side and reassure him. I will protect you with my life. Don't you worry.
Well, you better, because it's all for shit if you don't. Your life doesn't mean anything unless he fucking survives.
Zeth just kind of looks at Gunner and is like, I'll second that. I'll protect you too. Other than that, I want to see the freaking forge anyhow.
And you're right, Gil. I would rather die than let him die. I've already lost one friend. I don't think I can handle another.
Gil thinks about that.
Really, honestly, I think it would solve all your problems if you just got some shit in writing and got it over with.
That's basically what I'm asking for.
What is it exactly that you want in writing? If he dies, he's not giving you shit from the mine.
Well,
other
then
than what you find while you're adventuring.
Then there's nothing he can write down that's going to help. That's what I want, is that if something were to happen to Gundren, we're still going to be rewarded if we're successful.
You're not. He's telling you no, that's not going to happen. He's not making that deal with you.
In this mission parameter, we have to have Gundren come out alive. It doesn't matter. It's a mission
Look,
failed, like any first-person shooter. If you don't protect the person that you're protecting, you fail.
Yeah. Either way, we're gonna get the shit.
That's
from
exactly what it is. It's an escort quest.
Yeah,
it's an escort quest.
Either way, we're gonna get the shit from the mine. Like, if he dies, no one's gonna stop us.
Yeah.
So, like,
exactly.
But either way,
and I mean, if he dies, we can always try and swindle his one living brother wherever the fuck he is, and
Or
try
his
and
son.
get something from him for it. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
But
shit.
I mean, we gotta try and keep Gundren alive.
You know, total meta here though. If you were gonna pull something like that, you'd have to fucking off Sildar too, because he's listening to this deal go down.
Well, honestly, I don't think
Sildar's a fucking joke, so I mean, we can do that.
I'm not saying he's a threat. I'm just saying that's. You got to tie up loose ends, you know.
At this moment, Zeth is on Hrogar's side. He's like, protect the guy. Let's go finish this job.
Yeah.
Devith, on the other hand, would have been on Gil's side. Damn, Gil's like going full Devith right now.
Hey, that sounds straight up Gil though, dude. Who's playing that to the T?
Yeah, I know. It's just funny as hell. It's like, Devith out of the way. He can go full on ass. It's like, yes. No, I'm the only one.
Wow.
You know, if Gil didn't already get inspiration, he'd be getting it for this.
Well, Gil doesn't want to swindle anybody. He also doesn't want to like risk his life for what might be absolutely nothing.
He doesn't want to gamble.
Yeah, if there's a chance, he could risk it for like a safer bet, you know.
No, I totally.
Like I said, Gil's going to go along with what the group wants to do. He's not going to fight him.
Sure. But he's making sure everybody knows he's not happy about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So what do you guys want to do?
Hrogar wants to pull Gil to the side this time, and just try to reassure him a little bit. Like, I know it seems like we might be throwing our lives away for nothing, but at least for me, this I know is the path that Marthammer has for me. It may not be for you, but search in your heart and decide one way or the other, because I, for one, know that this is where I'm supposed to go.
Well, Gil thinks about that hard for a minute or two, and then he comes back and joins the group and says, you know, I talked about it with Hrogar, and he made some really good points, and I'm on board. I think that, there's nothing better we could do than to protect Gundren and see that he makes it out of here alive. And if he does that, then I'm not too concerned about how we get rewarded for it. That'll be a reward enough in itself.
Hear, hear.
Gundren hears this change of heart, and his expression on his face changes drastically into kind of raised eyebrows, you know, and hearing you say this, he was, the way you were talking earlier, he was feeling really concerned about his safety. And hearing those words come from your mouth are quite a bit of reassurance to him that he has made the right decision in offering part ownership of the mines to you guys.
All right, cool.
And I just want to tell Gundren that I feel the watchful eye of Marthammer Duan on this quest. It will go according to his plan. Don't you worry.
He explains to you that as a whole, all of you, not each, but as a whole, you'll be offered 10% ownership of the mine, but that if you happen to do a good job of also keeping Sildar alive, that he'll make it 15%.
I say 20 if we keep Sildar and him alive.
Hey,
Calm down. He looks at you. He looks at you. He looks at Sildar, and he says, 15 will do.
I think if we took 20%, isn't that equal like 100%?
That would be 100%. Yeah, that would actually be 120%.
Wait,
I'm pretty sure it's 15% for all of us.
Okay,
it's for all of us
Oh,
together.
as a group, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
yeah, 20%. I would go for.
Yeah, see, 20%.
He feels generous. He feels generous for even offering you the extra % to keep Sildar alive. I mean, he's just doing that out of a basic loyalty to Sildar.
I think 15 is plenty
call it
generous,
good.
especially since we may find more treasures in there.
Gil holds up a finger and like starts to argue, and then like he hears Rogar and he puts his finger down and he just kind of nods and like like agrees to whatever Rogar says.
15 it is.
All right. So he says, me and Sildar have been ready for a few days now. You let me know when you are ready, and
let's go.
I'm ready right now.
Wait, reminder: how long a travel will it take us to get there? Right now, it's about midday, right?
Okay, give me 1 second to look at the map, and I will answer your question.
I think it's pretty close to Phandalin.
Yeah, it is fairly close to Phandalin.
Yeah.
It's midday.
Ideally,
right now.
we'd want to get there. I think we'd want to get there morning or midday, not like at night, probably.
I mean, we're going into a cavern. The time doesn't really matter.
I guess that's true.
As long as the travel period isn't at night, I don't think it matters when you actually.
I mean, obviously, don't want to get there like midnight when everyone's tired, but
that's the most important thing. Like when we arrive, doesn't really matter. We want to optimize our timing so that we're not traveling at night if possible.
Yeah.
Okay, you're about 12 to 13 miles from the entrance to Wave Echo Cave, and you can travel 5 miles. Right. What is it? 5 miles per hour?
An hour.
Yeah, something like
that. So
about
basically about 3 hours. So you get there sometime around 4 o'clock.
Okay, so we could leave. We could leave now, and we could get there before night, before it gets dark.
Yeah.
It gets dark probably around 7.
I say we
head out now. Yeah, you definitely get there before dark.
Gil's on board with heading out whenever. I've got all my shit in my pack.
I'm good. I've got everything with me up here.
Valley says she'd need a couple minutes, like swinging by the inn and pack some shit up, but then she'd get to go.
Ooh, I should grab some of that bread for the road. That sounds like a great idea.
Okay.
Back to the inn, and then we'll leave.
Anybody else have anything else to say?
I want to go say bye to Carp and hold him close to me for a few minutes and say goodbye to my sister and grab my wolves.
Okay, so basically, y'all all want to split up and then meet back up at the tavern?
At the end,
At the end, I mean? Yeah. Okay, so you all go about your way and do your thing, say your goodbyes, do your preparations. Unless anybody feels the need to, I don't really see a need to roleplay out any of that stuff.
No.
Okay, so you all meet back up at the tavern, and Toblin's wife has kind of overheard y'all talking as y'all have met one by one back up at the tavern that you're going on this journey, and has packed you all a food sack, and
nice of her.
has a bit of bread, some dried meat, a water skin filled with water, and that's about it. But maybe some berries in there as well. You know,
What
just
was
some
the first thing you said?
bread,
Oh,
dried
the
meat.
bread. Yeah.
Yeah, bread, dried meat, and some berries, and a water skin,
What?
kind of
Zeth gets this?
wrapped up in burlap. Yeah, yeah. She recognizes that you're part of the ones funneling in to go on this thing, and that you're. I mean, whether you're a jetting goon or not is regardless. She sees that you're part of the party that's getting ready to embark, and she's making sure you guys are set out. She's kind of feels like she's become like the jetting goon's mom kind of thing, you know?
Here's your pack lunch,
And I
dude.
accept her.
Make your choices.
Right.
Have fun at school today. Bye-bye.
Have a good day, dearie.
Is this?
And, go ahead.
I was just going to say, is this going to wind up being our stopping point in the evening?
Well, that's up to you
I
guys.
vote. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
pretty late, isn't it?
Yeah,
120.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
running a bit over what we usually do. Actually, no, this is about right.
This is about
Yeah, no, this is about right.
Yeah, I think we ought to pick up when we're headed out of town.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we're about to head out of town.
But when we get up to there.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like next time we ought to be like, now we're leaving town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, we're
Okie
pretty much
doke.
there.
All right.
Okie doke, guys. Sorry that we didn't have much bloodshed in this adventure.
Yeah, where's my killing? Come on.
We should probably make a pit stop at the apothecary before we go.
Do you want to do that? Do you want to do that now before?
I mean, I don't have to do it right this second, but I mean, sometime before game next week.
Okay. You and I handle that when
Yeah,
during the
whenever
week?
you get
Okay.
a free minute, just holler at me and we'll sit down and we'll talk that one out real quick.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work just fine. All right, guys. It's a really good roleplay. I'm really liking how everybody's really coming into their characters and having some interesting interplay.
Yeah.
Not only between the party, but between the different villagers and shop owners and such in Phandalin.
Yeah, I really
And
like it.
and kudos to the damn performance by Alleria tonight.
Yep.
That was,
Good job.
that was top notch.
Applause, applause, applause.
For sure.